pair, right? Like I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And I didn't realize how far it was. Everybody was like, yeah, dude, it's like hour and a half away, blah blah whatever. I look at the fucking GPS, it's 3 hours, and I'm like, no chance. So then
That's funny.
I had to drive there and then drive back on Sunday, and then like get it. I don't know if you ever gotten a rental before, but like it's a pain in
Now
the
you gotta.
ass.
I think you have to be. I think you have to be a certain age to get a rental. But I just turned 21, so I definitely like wasn't at a certain
Yeah,
age.
nah, dude, it's a pain in the ass to get it back because like once you like come back, you gotta wait on them to come. Like you can't walk into their office. You gotta wait, especially because like COVID. They're freaked out by COVID and shit still. So like you gotta wait outside. That was just super annoying. It was just a bunch of bullshit. But it was cool though. Like I said, to see him get married and shit. That's all that really fucking matters. Like he was happy as shit. They went to Cancun that night, bro. They were already on a flight that night out. So that's all that really fucking matters. Oh, we'll just wait.
Wedding. No. Especially going to weddings as a grown up, that shit is way more fun.
Oh,
You
dude.
do whatever you want.
Dude, I drank like 3 bottles of Chardonnay, drank like 4 bottles of Moscato. They didn't have no no liquor, bro. So it was like either drink Busch Light or Bud Light or fucking wine. And I was like, bro, I'm drinking wine, no chance.
I haven't really drank like Bud Light since I was probably like 16, 17.
Yeah,
I
high
can
school
drink it off.
shit.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm kind of good off of like those type of beers. I'd be feeling crazy the next day.
I feel like shit, but nah, dude. Like, oh, Rigby's in here. Okay, he said nice Donald Duck mug. All right,
Thanks,
so it's fucking Dexter, bro. It's fucking weirdo.
No, I'm rocking, and then this other mug I have right here, Dex, is a Mickey Mouse mug.
That's tough. But nah, fool. Let's just wait. I'll give it like a couple more minutes when we start bullshit.
Rigby beat up on us a couple days ago in Prime.
No, that was bad. Did y'all lose with the AI or did y'all win that game?
No, we won.
Okay, bro. I
No,
was.
we were really good for like a 2 week stretch, but we've been playing pretty bad recently. It's really because my build sucks and people learned how to like guard it, and then like our energy just been off, but we should be alright.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. My boy Smooth be bitching about the West Coast shit all game.
Yeah, but I mean I can't say anything because it's not. I've never like experienced.
No,
it,
yeah,
so.
I know, but it's just like it's fucking crazy. Son. He's always
Nah,
bitching
our
about it.
comms were bad versus the series versus Rigby, like probably at an all-time low. We fine.
No, y'all lost to Spam and them on Xbox, right? For the finals.
Yeah, that's what set the stage. We fucking Connor missed a dunk. I don't know if you've seen the clip,
No, I
but
didn't
he
even get
missed
to
a
watch
dunk.
it.
He missed a dunk for fucking game, like to send it to overtime, like by himself. Like the defender was behind him, and he just like got one of those rim stuff dunks. Like the dude didn't jump or anything behind him. Like he got like
Just pulled the shit out of the rim and it just popped out. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
to force overtime in the finals of that shit. And then that just set us for like once when you lose a fucking playoffs or like finals like that, the next series is gonna be like a fucking tough one, especially
It's
like
just hard
someone
to
like
talk and shit.
especially like Connor's like pretty like aggressive and like intense. So like when something like that doesn't go his way, where it's like complete random shit just happened, like it's like gonna be tough for the next series.
Nah, Connor is so funny. He's been killing it though, bro. That one screenshot y'all sent. Who'd y'all play, bro? Kenny and them, bro. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, he was 29 to 30. Yeah.
That was actually insane.
No, outside of the last 3 days, our whole energy's been good and stuff. We've been playing pretty good since we got him on PlayStation. We hadn't lost until we just lost the WR Open. Like we won like 15,
I
16
mean, y'all were
in
pretty
a
good
row.
with Walnut too, though. When y'all played us, y'all should have beat us, honestly.
Nah, that was a good series.
All right, so we got plenty of people in here now. So obviously, Keena is one of the few guys that probably has won just as much as anybody in the league. He's been around, kind of created the whole Warriors team from the ground up. So we go and get into it, bro. Obviously, coming into season 2, everybody thought you were declining. You had the Warrior suit on. You had you were one of those guys. I mean, I don't blame you. Obviously, the team ended up being fucking great, but just talk about like your first season. Talk about just like playing with type and like Beastman was there. Obviously, y'all kind of like made up the culture. You know what I'm saying? Everything there. Y'all were fucking
Yeah.
great.
Well, going into it, honestly, like first team I really wanted to go to was the Mavs at 5, like no doubt. Like I told Dimes, like
So did you want to play point guard with Dimes or no?
yeah, I wanted to play point
Oh
guard,
shit.
and he played center though and team up and stuff. So I was like, dude, fucking go to center and let me play point guard. And like if I'm bad at point guard, then I'll play lock and you can play point guard. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I really honestly wanted to go to the Mavs though, because the off-season pay was lit and the fucking
Right.
housing looked good. So I was like, fuck it, like we're gonna get to the Mavs. And then when I found out that Pete was going to the Mavs, I'm like, all right, now like my next like A plus is the Warriors. Like that's where I kind of want to go. So I ended up getting lucky and getting picked by the Warriors, right? And then after that, I honestly thought like me and Gradient were going in there and like taking the team, like not taking the team, but like we were gonna be the best two players on the team. Like I had no
Right.
idea who Beast Move was. I had no idea who Type was. Like I just wanted to go there just because they had the second pick and the 10th pick. You know what I mean?
Right. You can get
So I
your
was like,
boy
all right,
leverage. You
bet.
get Sammy
Like let's
there.
do
You've been
it.
all right type shit.
Yeah, like let's just do it. So I get there, um, and the first couple of days of practice, Smooth scoring like 50. Remember when like
Yeah,
the
yeah. The
emo
emo, the emo
emo
decks.
thing? Yeah. Oh my God. Like Jesus, like that. He actually might have been the best player like that's ever been in the 2K League with that emo decks. Like 60 every game. Like I was just like, damn. Like fuck, this kid's damn near the best player in the whole league. Like let's go. Like I was hype. I was like, wow, we're about to be fucking gross.
And y'all
And then we
drafted
also
Jen
be
too.
swinging.
Yeah, y'all had
Yeah.
Jen too. But she was like a sweat on my team. So y'all seen what she's
Yeah,
really
no, no,
good.
no. Jim was another good get in the third round too. When we could get him, I was hyped too, because I always like at that point at least I really valued the people that could play like multiple positions. So like I seen him playing pro at point guard, shooting guard, even center. When he ever played center for us, sometimes like one game against the Blazers in season 2, Type had like some medical thing he couldn't play. Jim played center
Oh
really
yeah, I remember
good.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I mean in scrimmages when he would play center in season 4, he'd have good games too. Like he's just a really like good player from 1 to 5. So. Famous. Yeah, I remember that famous test. That you know what happened? The tip off came around and it got patched the day before, and I had never put a dribble move together the whole
You didn't
the
have to.
whole like practice. Yeah, the whole like for like 2 months I didn't do nothing but sit
Just
there
running
and
around
like
with your icons
yeah,
up. And
just ball fake and hit him on the decks or hit like down the corner. Like I didn't learn how to do nothing. And the Pacers who we played like knew about the dribble glitch, but we didn't. So like Wolf was sitting there plucking the shit out of me, and Sammy couldn't get a pluck on Maddie because they knew about the dribble glitch. So that was a rough start to that season. Like we lost to them, and
No, everybody
and
was
it
like,
was
everybody was talking shit to y'all for a minute because y'all were killing everybody. They were calling y'all scrum
yeah, everyone was
warriors.
calling us Scrim Warriors and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, I'm like, dude, they fucking patched like what we do right before, and then we got into the regular season and we were like 3-1, and the one loss we had was when Type was out with his medical thing. Like I forget what it was, but he had something that he couldn't come. So we went 1-1 that second week with the Cavs and the Blazers, which I mean, it's no like losing to the Blazers isn't like the end of the world, especially like a new
that
team.
team.
Like
Yeah,
fuck
season
it,
two.
yeah.
Yeah, season 2 teams.
Yeah, like we weren't. It is what it is, and we only lost by like 10, and that was with like Chiquita. If people don't really know, she plays like 2-3, really, not really like 4-5. So
Right.
we threw her in at the 4, and we put Jin at the 5, which like neither of them really had experience at those positions. And in season 2, I couldn't fucking score, so it's like we were like, back against the wall. We only lost by like 8 or 9 points, which is pretty good. So then we weren't too upset about that. Then what really like kind of changed our season was we played the Jazz. We were 4-1 going into the Jazz right before the turn. And fucking we got popped by the Jazz. Like they kept switching compete and deeds on ball, like lock point guard. And like we were just so unorganized with like what we were doing, and they popped us. And then like on the way back, everyone was like, "Fuck! Like, do we need to switch lineups? Like this shit's bad." Like I was really like bad at that point. So, before that, then we go into the turn, what's it called, like the turn practice where you ban stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, all right, we're just gonna ban the rim sharp because we were like one of the only teams that didn't run the rim sharp.
Yeah,
Like
you're in
obviously
the
you guys
stretch.
didn't.
Yeah, we're in the stretch.
Yeah.
I remember that. That's what we kind of ran the
Yeah.
stretch because of y'all. So yeah.
So we would run that, and then we just banned the rim sharp over and over and over again, and then people would come back and ban the stretch because they don't use it, and that's when we kind of like found like, damn, we really don't need the scoring from the stretch. Like Jin's kind of dogging on the glass. Like there was games in that tournament where Jin would have like 10 to 12 rebounds. Like
No, that glass
killing
was crazy
up the
at the
corner.
floor. No, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
so when people like forced us to switch to that, it kind of like made us way better. Like obviously he was killing it on the stretch too, but the rebounds that he was getting were mad impactful, and then that's kind of like what turned our season
And
around.
you kind of
Then we
needed it for
obviously-
Type because Type played so aggressive. Like
Yeah, he's
before
out to
Type
play,
started doing
yeah.
his shit where he was flopping like Type, but y'all's defense was cracked, dude. I remember.
No, what was really good about him was when Tommy would have him like do more calculated than just like fouling, if that makes sense. Like faking the blitz and stuff. Like when he was faking the blitz, it was like over. During that season, especially like that, he was disgusting at that shit. Like
No, he was the best center that year. He was
yeah.
crazy. He was cracked. Nah, I remember, bro. We played y'all, bro. We played y'all. That was the worst loss I've ever had in 2K, like league history. Probably was.
Yeah, I remember you Reese were playing catch with the hammer was like
Nah,
across
dude,
the stage.
it was bad. So like we were already down bad. That was our fourth loss. That was like right before the turn or whatever. And like we didn't know Reese was still playing point guard. Like we lost a heartbreaker to the Mavs. We lost to the Heat. We lost to somebody else. And then we played y'all. We lost to the Kings. So we had Mavs, Heat, Kings, y'all. And remember we played y'all, dude. We were sitting there in like the first quarter. Type had like 6 steals. Sammy had 4 steals, and y'all were up by like 20th into the first. And I was like,
Yeah, and
no
we were
way.
letting Jin get his points versus OT
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we were
He was
trying to help
ISO
him
and
out,
JT. JT was like in
yeah.
the corner. It was bad.
With the post escape with the 6'11", that shit was crazy.
It was toxic. And I remember like I was just sitting there and I was like, there's no way these kids are that good. Like obviously I knew y'all. I played y'all before, but I didn't know y'all. I didn't know you and Sammy like that. I knew obviously Beast Move and I knew Jen. But I just remember I was sitting there and I was just like, bro, this is crazy. Like y'all beat us by like 40 on stage. Like you don't understand. Like when you get beat by like 40 on stage, that's where it's like you got to really evaluate. Like,
No, I gotta tell you about the beating 40 on stage. We were down to the Celtics by like 30 something at the half, and this is when Fab was stinging for MVP. Remember, like the last 3 or 4 weeks, like he's fucking fiending. They're diving on loose balls, calling timeouts and shit. I'm like, bro, can you just fucking end the game?
That's what y'all were doing to us, bro. No. Type got a rebound and called a timeout, like with like 10 seconds left, and I said, bro, I was like, there's no way.
That shit is rattling. I'm not gonna lie, because when they did that, like Fab, like I think maybe someone blitzed him and it was like going back court and he like dove for it and they called a timeout. I'm like, bro, are y'all fucking serious? Like you could take the fucking turnover. Like that's not gonna be the fucking difference between MVP or not, bro.
No,
yeah,
that season 2
that getting
team,
flooded on stage is definitely like so much more rattling. Like you got to sit there and these kids and like, I mean, for a player of your caliber, like if you look across most of the time, like there might be 1 player or 2 players like on your level. The rest of them are like ass and they're chirping about nothing. Like it's definitely
No, that's the
crazy.
worst. Most of the people that chirp for real don't even be like that.
Yeah,
but nah, that season 2 team though, like whenever y'all were like got it, like when y'all figured it out, right? Obviously y'all won 2 tournaments, and Shots was funny. He said you lost to the Hawks.
Yeah,
that's
and
when
then his lockout bench.
The
His lockout bench afterward because I was 2 for 14 on opens, like getting straight fucking long arms.
Well, wasn't Shots still on the post score then or no?
Yeah, well, he had like 40 something, but we only had like 40 something though. Like the Hawks had like 48 and Shots had like 40 something of that 48, but we only had like 42 because I was 2 of 14 or something, like 3 of 13.
No, you were bad in season 2. The one thing that was good about you was like you could keep them in the game, but like you could not score. You were terrible. But
no, I would say I was super overrated in season 2 because after season 2, people would still say like, "Wow, he's keeping them in the game." When honestly, like I really didn't do shit but box out in season 2. Like that's one thing I'm pretty good at. Is
the little things. That's all that matters.
I guess yeah, boxing out and then like under 5 seconds, like calling a play, I was pretty good at in season 2. But like other than that, it was pretty fucking awful.
Nah, I feel like y'all season 2 team probably was y'all's best team on the Warriors you've probably been a part. Like skill wise, like y'all had like 1 through 5 that like y'all had an elite player damn near at every position.
And also in that season, like a lot of teams still weren't like made yet, if that makes sense. Like a lot of teams still had like a kind of a weak link on it. Like not to like throw shade at anybody, but like a lot of the teams outside of like maybe us and like the Sixers. Like there really wasn't too many teams that didn't have like
the Blazers
that had like 5 like top comp guys. Yeah, the Blazers too. And that's why like I respected Bear. Like they just put it together. I mean, obviously their players started playing good towards the playoffs, so I won't take anything away from them. But like they just figured out something that like worked.
They didn't have 5 guys that were elite though. Like
yeah,
the T-Wolves team, like JoJo, like JoJo wasn't like known or anything. Like he just was a good stretch.
But his strength is shooting, so like he was good at the stretch.
And then
stuff
like
that.
and season 2, you couldn't mash either. So like you didn't have like there wasn't like a con of not running a masher. You know what I'm saying? Like because you couldn't even dunk in the paint. But I remember
they were really good at team rebounding too. That was like their best thing. I felt like you would check the box score and like Turner would have 2 rebounds, J Money would have 2 rebounds, and Bear would have 2 rebounds. Like that shit fucking adds up.
It definitely does. That's who y'all lost to in the playoffs, right?
Yep. Yeah, we lost 2-0 to them in the playoffs. And the craziest thing is like you know how we won the ticket, right? So we had like forever to just
sit there,
get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I was like, I mean, you remember in retail and was that 19, right? Yeah, it's 19. I was like, yo, why don't we just run? Type at the rim sharp guard and pick and roll, and then Jin at rebounder sharp because like you remember in retail, all I used to do was just pick and pop with shuttles the whole time.
Y'all had
Like,
that Z play I made. All that
like
shit.
I couldn't 3-hunt for shit like at all, especially in retail. Like, and I thought going into it like we were gonna run a pop the entire season, and then I mean we were winning, so I was like fuck it, like it's cool like to not run a pop. But then we only won. I don't know if you really remember. We only won the ticket by like fucking 2 or 3 points every game. Like we just kept like finding the damn way to win. So it was like one of those things where obviously you want to win or lose, but after that,
y'all beat the Pacers in the ticket, right?
Yeah. That was when Raymond was on the post score giving out like 40, and then Jin locked him up in the finals. It was actually pretty good shit by Jin. And you know what really helped us actually for that finals is Drop Off sent in the playbook. He was like, "Yo, Ramos player is a lefty, so you got to post up from like from the right block towards the middle. You know what I mean? Like
that's the only one that really. That's the only one that's switchy."
So he was like, "Yo, just force the ball up the left. Like, don't even fucking step past like the middle line of the court." So like, whenever Swizzer got the inbound, Sammy would just stand like boom to his right, like make him go up the left side of the court. So now like Ramos catching on that other block and can't just do that cheesy move. Or if they want to like work to get it to the other side, now he's got like fucking 10 seconds to really do it. So it's like he's got to.
We did the same shit. So we played them in the regular season and we lost to them by a buzzer beater. Rainbow hit like a red fucking post stop. But we did the same as like shit. Like,
oh yeah, I remember that shit. He hit a red post stop.
That was like our only chance, to win, like, or even to get in the playoffs was like we had to beat the Pacers, and it was the same shit. We did the same thing. We forced them up the left side of the court, and then like we put the center on them though, and I just played on the stretch in the paint with Beezus, and that's how we were close. But obviously, we had no business being in the playoffs. We would have got fucking flooded, but. So fast forward.
No, you guys started picking it up towards the end of the season that year.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was one of those things like if me and Reese couldn't score 20 apiece, we had no chance. It was one of those, but.
Yeah, you would be getting freaky on the fucking stretch.
I shot probably the most post fades all year, bro, on the stretch. I didn't give a fuck, dude. I was just putting them up. But no, fast forward season 3, obviously, your MVP season basically. You probably would have won MVP if Kenny, doesn't have Zeus internet. You kind of were like this guy coming in, like everybody was like, I remember DT trolling you saying like you blackmailed fucking Rusty.
Yeah, to get retained. Yeah.
Because Type was like
the retainment. Yeah, the retainment in that season is definitely like. I mean, that's just a tough decision for Rustin to make. Like this for.
At the end of the day, bro. At the end of the day, it's like you have to keep a point guard, right? Like that's just like has to go. If you have a point guard that's winning you games, I feel like that's what matters the most in this league, right? If you look at every top 4 team last year, every point guard was pretty good at the
honestly
spot.
Like truthfully I was worried. I honestly didn't think I was gonna get retained, so I was like fuck, like what goes on if I don't get retained? Like I was really like fucking worried.
Who's the season 3 teams with Genji and the Hornets?
Yeah, it was Genji and the Hornets, but I really wasn't like super into playing for an expansion team, to be honest with you. So I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I was really like fucking worried. I was so hyped when I got that call that I was get retained. I was so fucking happy because we knew Sammy and Smooth were getting retained, like for sure. Like it was really just gonna come down to if it was gonna be me or Type. But
Sammy was crazy.
But back to your point, going into season 3, what was the question?
No, but just going into season 3, obviously you came in and you were this like player that everybody was like, oh, you averaged 11 and 7. Everybody would send your stats to you. I remember the fucking chats, dude. Like, everybody used to troll you, and you come out, bro, and you're averaging fucking 35. Bro. The game season 3 was meant for you, right? Like that was like your shit. You could post hook. It was like a mental game in the paint. You figured out how to 3-hunt. You shot middies. Like you and Jack were real similar when it came to that. And I remember whenever we would scrim y'all, we used to punch on y'all, bro. Like during the season. And the Kings did the same shit to us though. So like we used to get our shit flooded by the Kings, and then we smoked them in the playoffs. So when we were like obviously going through all that, and we ended up seeing y'all, we were like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like this might be a thing, like a reverse kind of thing where it's like we punched on them all year, and then like because we obviously y'all knew our tendencies, bro. We scrimmed y'all probably fucking
we scrimmaged you guys
times.
and the Kings a fucking ton.
Yeah,
like,
bro, we played y'all
about
so
the Kings though, like no bullshit. I really felt like that Kings team was damn near like the best ever. Whenever I played them, like I would be like fuck, like they were dead. It's like low key scary to play. Like we would get fucking punched by them, and like you guys would beat us in scrimmages, but I wouldn't be like demoralized afterward. Like I would just be like fuck, like you must know, but. The Kings, they would beat us. Me and Slaughter would be like, all right, we got to go watch that back and see what the fuck we got to do. Like, we don't got a single answer for these fucking guys right now. Like, the Kings meet us, I swear, heading into the playoffs, our scrimmage blocks were literally you guys and the Kings back to back every day. And it was fucking, lose by 40 something to the Kings, then lose by like 15 to 18 to you guys, like back to back, and then that's like 4 hours of my day just getting fucking smoked. And I was like, oh shit.
I remember we played the Kings at the start of the year in season 3, and like we beat them by like 25, like probably like the first 2 weeks of the game. And Shots texted me, and he's like, "Yo, bro, like y'all are the first team to beat us. Like we were like 30-0." And I was like, "Bro, what?" I was like, "Bro, y'all are fucking terrible." That's what I was thinking. I was like, "There's no way this team's good." And then we played them like 2 weeks later, and they punched us by 60. And I was like, "Oh, okay." It was one of those, right? Like. And I felt like they actually had the best defense. Like, when they were, like, locked in on defense, their defense was, like, cracked. Like, with Shots in the corner, Crush.
Yeah, and Bash got good fucking D, too. Like,
no,
that's
Bash with blitz and shit. Like,
so, yeah.
well, that's the thing, though. When you have Shots in your corner, you kind of play how the fuck you want off the hash. So, like, Bash was blitzing everything. I remember that, dude. Jack used to get so mad. And, like, when we beat them, I was more worried about the Kings than I was the Raptors. And then, like, when we played the Raptors, I was like, all right. I didn't want to see the Jazz.
Because the Raptors beat y'all twice, so it's like, fuck it, you guys, like,
we were just
already played them, yeah.
And I remember, like, when we seen y'all, I was like, dude, there's no way that, like, we smoked this team all year and then, like, now they're about to smoke our shit. And, like, I just remember, like, going into that, we watched so much film on you, and, like, we had a whole shot chart. And, like, obviously, I don't care anymore, I can tell you, but, like, I remember you would always shoot the free throw midi. You would never shoot the midi on the left side, like the left elbow, right elbow. So, like, we were like, all right, so, like, he wants to get to this spot. And then you loved the 3-hunt going middle, but, like, when you went to the hash, you would drive more and throw the slip. So, we're like, all right, bet. And, like, when we came in, like, you, like, changed your whole, like, the whole first game, you were, like, shooting quick stops on the wing. You were taking everything. And I was like, oh, we lost. Like, there's no way. Because y'all fucked on us the first game. You had, like, 50 the first game. And I was like, no.
Yeah, at 44, I fucking remember going to the bathroom, and I was like, let's fucking do it. Like, I fucking... like you said, though, about the MVP shit, like, that shit obviously, like, pissed me off a little bit, but it's nothing you could do when they're 16-0.
Yeah.
But I really just felt like I was the best player in the whole shit. Like, I felt like that the whole time. So I was like, fuck it. Like, if we win the championship, I don't give a fuck about that MVP.
Yeah.
So then after the first game, well, because going into that fucking playoff, like, finals, too, like, I was averaging, I think, like, 39.5 or 38.5 going into the fucking
and
finals.
Slaughter
So I was
was in
like,
his bag that whole playoffs, too.
Slaughter he had like 8 blocks. He had like 8 blocks on the Jazz.
No.
That was the series. No, the Jazz series in the semifinals of that year, that was one where we definitely couldn't lose because, like, fucking, I don't know if you remember, but they beat us in the regular season when we were undefeated, and, like, they posted a video with, like, Lottie and Beezus dancing around in Tekashi wigs. Like, that really, like, fucking threw,
oh, because they
like,
said
all of us.
You were bitching about shit or whatever, like, nah.
I have no idea, but they were
so
wearing
funny.
fucking those wigs, and that, like, sent everybody. Like, I even sent my coach, and my coach, like, at that point was in week 4 of, like, 2K. Like, he's still in his first month. Like, he didn't know shit. And I, like, sent him, too. Like, he's like, bro, we're not fucking losing to them if we play them in the playoffs. So when we played them in the playoffs, we fucking couldn't lose to that.
The same shit that happened to y'all was kind of the same shit that happened to us with the Jazz, because we lost to the Jazz in regular season, and, like, Comp was on a Periscope after that. Well, our game got rescheduled. It was fucking pouring. Damn near a tornado in fucking DC. And, like, I'm on a Periscope, and he's like, on the Periscope like Hami or somebody, and he's like, yeah, you know, the Wizards were scared to play us. There was a chance of a flood because Hami was sitting there saying, oh, it wasn't raining in DC, but it was fucking pouring. And, like, all this shit. And, like, after we lost to them, he got on Periscope and was like, yeah, obviously you seen that's why they want to play us, this and that. So when we played them in the turn, when we came back down to 15, that was the same shit where we were like, bro, we can't lose to them. Like, we were down 15 game 2. They were up on 1-0, and, like, I just remember we were, like, looked at each other and was like, all right, bro, like, it's either, like, we fucking turn up or we don't. And, like, we ended up beating them. Obviously, we lost to the fucking Raptors in the finals. But, like, it's the same shit, though. Like, I remember that shit. Like, the Jazz were chatty patties in season 3. I'm telling you. Them motherfuckers talked.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're cold. I mean, they have a fucking top 3 point guard, top 3, top 2 center, too. So, I mean, that motherfucker is really good.
So, talk about, like, just the finals, though, for you. Like, obviously, they were all hell games besides probably, like, for game 1 and then the last game. Like, game 2 and 3 were hell, though. So, it's like... Talk about that from your point of view. I never really talked about it. Obviously, I troll you a lot about it, but, like, you know, they were good. That was a good ass series, though. Like, whatever day it was.
Yeah.
And obviously, Jack was like your prodigy, right? Like, you and Jack were like boys before all that. So it's like, I don't know.
He was my secondary on 18. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. So I thought it had to be different for you. Like, you wanted to beat Jack. Obviously, Jack wanted to beat you. So just talk about that,
for sure. I'd say, like, I mean, we had. I'll take more blame than, like, people give for that finals, because we were up, I think. Either it was game 2 and game 3 or game 2 and game 4. We were up. It was 2 of those 3 games. We were up 10 plus at some point, or 8 plus at some point in those games, in, like, second or third quarter, and, like, we didn't close the door. So, like, that's like, reviewing the finals. Like, obviously you could say, like, whatever you want about, like, certain stuff, whether it's, like, rebounds, paint defense, missing shots, like, shit like that. But, like, controlling the game is something that, like, I felt like in season 3 I kind of got like away from like
You was kind of
what
a
I
scorer.
usually
You turned
do.
it into a
Like
score. Yeah.
yeah, but like with that comes like kind of like sometimes bad shots and stuff like that where like the game could like totally go a different way if you don't do that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I felt like I definitely felt like I was the best player in the league in season 3, but with that like you have to also be able to like manage a game better. Like that was what I was known for. So when I went back and reviewed that and we were up, I think it was either like I said 8 or 10 in 2 of those games that we lost. I was like, fuck, like I got to kind of get back to that, and that's what I did in the next season. But during the finals
Yo,
itself,
Troy, good luck, bro.
yeah, I mean, it was just a little rattling. Like once we won the first game, I thought we had it. Then obviously you guys had host for game 2, so it's like one of those where we're playing with house money. Like if we win, like great, but if we lose, like we're more so like focused on game 3.
Because you could like, I remember that was the year for the host, right? If you got the point.
Yeah, and
advantage
then
on,
once and then when you guys fucking lost to Nadal in the regular season to give us the 3rd seed, I was like, fuck yes, like that's huge. Like that's really big for the mental right there. Because well, one, it put you guys on the sweat side, and then two, like yeah, just think it like for that reason there, like we made the finals, and now all we got to do is trade with you guys, and then we win like 3-2. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
was like the thought process. But then once we lost that 3rd game, it was like fuck, like.
Reality starts setting a little bit. You were like, oh shit.
You're like, damn, bro, like this shit is fucking tough. Like we lost game 3, it was like, fuck, now we gotta win on East. It's gonna be a rough fucking game, and fucking then Jack just was mashing like fucking crazy. Like he had like 45 and like 2 threes. Like I don't know what was going on, but he was moving crazy in the paint, and then. Yeah, I mean the shit. Really, game 2 through 4 is just like a blur. I don't know. I just like fucking blinked in the game, and the shit was over. Like, it was like fuck. But that's just really because, like I said, like I got away from like what got me there. Like, if
No.
we're up 8-10 in season 4, I feel like I slow the game down perfectly fine. Versus like in season 3, like you said, those like not stereotypes, but like those fucking comments and over and over and over about how like you can't score like. Fucking turn you to something else, and I just tried to become like the best possible scorer I can instead of like
Actually,
just
play,
the overall
yeah,
best player.
Yeah, play how you play. No, what you said, you made a good point where it's like, yo, when you think you're the best player, you think you got to do this, this, and this, or whatever. And I remember in game 1, and even at the start of game 2, I was on pick and roll, and like, bro, you were fucking on me. Like you and Slaughter both were just like going, like I couldn't read what you're doing. Like every play you were guessing right, and I was like, all right. And I told Dini, I said, Dini hasn't guarded pick and roll all year. I was like, Dini, go guard pick and roll. Because when we watch film on y'all, you always struggled with the center in the corner. I don't know why, you just did. Like, it always fucked with you, it seemed like. And
It did.
And so I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the corner. And I was like, no, Dini, you have to make sure, though, you have to jump at this kid. Like, whenever he does his hooks and shit, I was like, it's going in every time. And I remember that was like something you just said where it's like you have to kind of realize sometimes that like whatever you sometimes you're not that guy or whatever, you have to tone it back. That was for me like when we were in the finals, like we were getting fucked on and it was like my fault. I was like, all right, Denny, go. And like and like he went crazy. I think it was in game 2 he had like 6 blocks, and that's ended up being the reason we
you guys got a good timing down where like I remember he would always jump first and you would jump second, so it's like everyone's there, like if they're both covered, like it was just like there's nothing for me to do in the post. And the other thing that, I mean, at that point, I just wasn't, like, I was getting better at 300, but I wasn't really there, like, yet. In Season 4, I felt like I really got there more. Like, the series we lost to the Jazz, I literally shot 55 threes in 3 games. Like, that was never
you were, bro. That Jazz series was crazy. Like, we can go ahead and go into that. Like, we don't have to talk about the finals anymore, but that, I remember your whole playoff run, like, because y'all beat the T-Wolves, right? And that was, like, everybody thought they were going to win the whole fucking thing.
Well, so, like, obviously, like, I have a fucking ton of respect for Bear, like, great player.
Dude,
like,
Bear
like,
like I know
when
people,
you lose and stuff.
People don't really appreciate Bear though. Like you appreciate him and Jack does because he's smart. Like you know what I'm saying.
And he put his on the ground. Like bro, we going into that series, like we had just beat the Pistons. Going into the Pistons, like the Pistons won the first game, and like there's just too much front running going on for me to comprehend. You know what I mean? Like come on, bro. Like it is what it is. And then so like that was Ramos' first win in the playoffs like ever. So. We lost the first game, so I get up and I start clapping for him. I'm like, let's go, Rams. Like, you finally got one. Like, took 4 years, you finally got one. Good shit. Like, clapping for him. And then he's clapping with me. Like, he's clapping with me for himself, right? So I was like, all right, bet. Like, I get off the stage. I'm like, bro, this fucking dude's clapping for himself. Like, we're good. Like, we're about to come back. And then, like, we come back, win the next 2. Then going into the T-Wolves, bro, the whole year, like, no bullshit. Like... The jury was out in our room on the T-Wolves. Like, everyone else,
y'all knew the T-Wolves.
Like, I told them this the whole time, too. Like, Saint probably thought I was lying when I was telling him. But, like, we lost in the tip-off to them when they won the tip-off, right? we lost a game to the Teals. We were 4 of 20 from 3. We lost by 4 points. Like, if we make fucking 2 more threes, we win. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not rocket science. Obviously, like, you could pick and choose when you say, like, oh, we were 12 for 20 from 3. But, bro,
Right.
4 of 20? Like,
It's
come on,
crazy.
bro.
No,
Fuck.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
I was using jump shot 27 because I couldn't time a fucking meter with 98. Like,
Oh, you were? Oh, that was bad. I remember that. Okay.
yeah. So it's like, fuck it. We lost by 4 points to the tip-off champs. And we were shooting, what's 420? 420 is like fucking 20, yeah, 20%. We shot 20% from 3 in a video game. Like, we lost by 4. It's fine. So then we go into the regular season, playing the Teals again. In the first game in our series versus Teals, we're up like, I think like 6 or 8 in the second quarter. Like, we're feeling good. And that was when I had no idea how to fucking stop the inbound plucks. Like, I would just turn around and they'd just pluck the bitch from me and throw it out for a 3. So we were up 6, and it's literally like a fucking snap of a finger. Now they're up 6, and once they get up 2, like, they're freaky on the break. Like, that's one thing I'll give them. Like, they really know how to like,
No,
they know how to like, they know how to like front run well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some people like front run and like let other teams back in by front running. Like, they know how to like front run and like it goes from 15 to 30, like fucking that. Like, they actually know how to do that shit.
No, their offense, when it gets going like that, you're definitely right though. That's a good point. Like, they're one of those teams, they will shoot those like in between shots that aren't like bad shots, but they aren't shots you would take basically in a hell game. But they would take them because you're up 6 now instead of, you know, tied.
But it's a good fucking shot.
Yeah, it's a
like
50-50.
Like, they're really good at front running.
Yeah, and like Slaughter was really good at like rebounds too. They would shoot a lot of bad shots on the break, and like Slaughter's there, like whatever. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, 100%. And so then we win the second game in that series in regular season. So now so mentally we felt like we had them the first game. They got a lot of steals, whatever. So we washed with them in the regular season. We felt like we could have won the one game in 4-20, and we felt like they didn't really think we had they didn't really think we thought that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they thought we were just saying stuff. So it was like, fuck it. Like, we come out and we punched them this first game. I forget what the score was. I felt like we won like by 10 or 15 or something in that first game because we just felt like we had like the recipe, like, just don't turn the ball over. A lot of their like shooting stats we felt like were inflated because kind of similar to the Raptors in season 3, like when you're shooting corner threes and trans, like obviously that's going to be like an 80% shot. Like that's what they do to teams. Like, they're just punching teams. And then also we looked at their regular season schedule, and the only teams they really like swept was the Pacers that one time when Jomar was on power forward, like out of like good teams. Because that Central Division was kind of crazy with the Mavs, the Cavs. Even though both those teams beat us, like we suck when we play those teams. Like, that's just something with me. We lost to the Mavs, the Cavs, the Lakers, 0-2 to the Raptors. Like, it just is what it is. But for other teams, like the T-Wolves, when they play those teams, they just beat on them. So they're getting those games versus the Mavs, Lakers, Bucks, whatever. They're going to win all of them because they're really good at that stuff. So checking their schedule, I was like, bro, like, we really could beat this team. Like, I sent it in our group chat. I sent, like, the group chat when they played the Pistons, they had Greenlight at point guard. When they played the Heat, that was when they had Juan. Like, I'm like, bro, like, they're 21-7, but it's not really like that crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
They're not like they haven't beat like the Kings. They haven't beat y'all. They haven't.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Thing.
Like, I'm like, yeah. So I was telling my team that because me personally, I really felt like we would beat them, but like you could feel some way, but you don't know if like your team really feels like that. You know what I mean? Like, they could even tell you that they do, but you don't really know. So like I was sending like that like information that like kind of like actually got them going. So I was like, fuck it.
And Twan showed up big time in that series too.
Well, so here's the other thing. Going into the playoffs, we switched from, obviously I was guarding, like I was one of the only point guards guarding wing. Same thing like how Jack was guarding wing. Yeah. But it wasn't because Antoine couldn't do it. It's just because like I was like selfish kind of. So I was like, fuck it, bro. I'm going corner and I'm just boxing out. You guard the wing because you can guard the shooting guards better. So we just told him, like, bro, all we need from you, like, fuck the offense, fuck the shooting. We just need you to, like, because I truly feel like he's one of the best players in the whole shit. So I'm like, bro, like,
defense,
go in there.
I'm gonna say with Twan, like, Twan, the only problem he has is filling a meter. Like, he can dribble, he can play defense, he can pass, whatever. He just can't time a fucking jump shot. And he's probably one of the best defenders, if not like a top 3 defender at his position, like a shooting guard. He's really good.
We basically said like, yo, you go guard Kai the whole time. Like, if you can keep Kai under, like, I forget what the number was, but it was like a certain number. If you can keep him under that, like, we're good to go. And then there's another like tactic that kind of worked for us because like another thing is how I said about me in season 3 when I was just in attack mode, like I wasn't my best self. Like obviously I felt like I was the best player and shit, but like I wasn't my personal best self in that season because I was just scoring. So going into the first game, Coach Mike's like, yo, first play, put Antoine on him and start talking to Bear. Like, get Bear into kill mode. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, because when we sat down, like,
that makes sense. That's smart.
Like, when we sat down, Bear is like trying to like like big dog me kind of like I was
Yeah.
still like 19.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, bro, like I'm there's a grown ass man now. Like I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
anymore. And because they beat it, because that was the last time I was on stage was when Bear and them beat us.
Yeah, beat us. Yeah, and Bear was
like,
chatting that game.
And they and the thing in season 2 is these motherfuckers weren't saying a word till it was 40 with fucking 2 minutes left. Then they start calling timeouts, getting up and yelling at us. I was like, bro, fuck this. Like I'm not losing the damn T1s again. So
So you start chatting to Bear.
Just imagine that season 2 shit where you and Reese were throwing the hand warmers, but in the fucking playoffs. Like that's what was going on for me. Like I was sitting there stunned.
No, it's tough.
So then,
it's tough. It's one of those.
So then so Bear starts chatting, and then we're like, all right, bet we're gonna put Antoine on him, and I'm like, all right, I'm like, yo, Bear, we're putting fucking Antoine on you. Like we don't give a fuck if you score 30. Like take it. Like you got it. Like go for it. And then he scores the first bucket on Antoine, right? Then we're like, all right. Perfect. We put Sammy on him. He hits a 3. He's got 5 like early. Like it's like 5-5. He's got 5 early. He gets up. He's like, you better put Antoine back on me. I'm like, bro, fucking perfect. Like I have my mic like this. I'm like, yo, fucking perfect, bro. Like that's what we want. Like,
you're a fucking idiot.
Exactly. Like literally what we want. Like if he, because his 30 is not Kai's 30. You know what I mean?
Like because Kai's 30 is one of those.
His problem is when Bear's problem is when he's got 15 and 15 because now he's fucking you up.
No, he's surgical. When he's shooting that little walk back midi right there at the free throw line, he dots the corner. That's when he's doing his shit. But when he's like just jacking threes, that's not Bear. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They're like, all right, bet. So then at the end of the first, I think we were up like maybe 15-10 or 15-11, and Bear had like 9 of their points. We're like, all right, that's like perfect. Like let's just keep it up. So then like it keeps going. We win the first game by like 15 comfortably, something like that. Then here's where it got scary versus the fucking Timberwolves. We're up like 6 or 7 in the fourth, and I fucking folded, bro. Like I folded so bad. Like I folded so fucking bad. Like Saint's really good at that, like getting crabbed on purpose and then coming like when you dribble back left.
Yeah, and he does that.
When you dribble back left and he takes out your hand, he did it like 4 times in a row, and they won game 2. Like they won game 2 literally crazy. Like you remember Slaughter got blocked and picked it up and put it in, bro. Oh my god, I swear to God, I was like fuck, like. I was like, we just put all this work in and like had all this fucking like talk, like we didn't think they were good, this, that, and the third, and we fucking like, I personally folded because like at that point you're like as like a star player or whatever, all you ask for is like 2 minutes left, like you're up 2 or it's 0 like 0-0 something like that, where it's like it's your turn, like it's time to go, like this is it. So we were up like 4 or 6, and I fucking folded like some clean laundry. I was like, bro, fuck. Like it's over, and Saint too. This motherfucker would not be quiet.
Yeah,
like,
so Saint's up chatting to you, telling you, this and that, whatever. I'm already know. Yeah. All right.
Oh my fucking god. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to the bathroom. Like I'm fucked right now. I can't sit. I can't stand right here, but I'm fucked. So I'm like, all right, bet. And I go to the bathroom, and then Mike told me he asked or something. Maybe it was at that time. He asked the team, like when I went to the bathroom, he asked the team like, yo, y'all think he's good or is he tweaking? And he told me like the whole team was like, nah, he's good. He just like got to get out of the system or whatever. Like that's like that made me like after he told me that later that night I was like, yeah, like I fuck with the team for that. Like they're solid. Cause I really like tossed, like it was crazy. So then going into game 3, I start the first half. We're down like 2 at the half. I start the first half like 3 for 9, 3 turnovers or some shit, right? And like certain people on the team are like, yo, look for this, look for this, look for this. Coach Mike's like, yo, you got to look for this, right? So at the half, I'm like, all right, look, I fuck with everyone's input, but like the only person who's talking to me in the second half is Maddie. No one else say a thing. If I score a basket, don't tell me I did anything good. If I fuck up, don't tell me I did anything bad. I don't want to hear anything about offense. Y'all worry about defense, and fucking Maddie, you tell me what's going on, because people really don't understand like how smart Maddie is either.
No,
like,
Maddie's a goat. He's a goat for real.
He unluckily got in season 2 where the point guard was fucking hell in a cell. Like,
yeah, no, he did.
And Ramos setting screens on the power forward stretch, like.
And Rainbow like also was one of those where he was trying to pop and replay, so it was tough on him.
Yeah, so
I remember you turned up to that whole second half. You went crazy. Like that was like your shit. Like I remember.
Because literally, like every play, like if I were to score, he would be like, "Yo, next play this might happen. Like just watch, just like hint for this." I'm like, "All right, bet. Like let's do it." Like he's a really really smart dude. Like knows exactly what's going on in multiple positions. So that was big and like.
And he's good enough to play too. Honestly, when he played power forward in 3, he was good. Like in season 3, he was really good too.
Yeah, and for like my coach and teammates too to like. I mean, I've thrown the last 6 quarters in a fucking row, and I said like, "Yo, no one say anything to me, please." Like just Maddie, and they're like, "All right, fuck it." Like they didn't say shit. Like that's like I said, all the like fucking power to them. But yeah, and then they get team takeover. I think we're up 1 in the 3rd game, and I swear something clicked in me. I'm like, I'm not fucking losing this kid again, bro. Like I can't fucking do it again. So I get the inbound. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna set him up and fucking go left wing. When I say go, you slip. Like we always time it up to where like gun slips as I'm getting ready to fade, like so that I
So
can
he
bail out
couldn't
at
jump
work.
at he couldn't jump at you, and then you could bail it. Yeah, I already know what you mean. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, yo, I'm about to tee it up and go left wing, and I'll slip on my go. So he slips, and then to be honest with you, I didn't think Miles had it in him to step from the corner. Like he throws a little fake step, if you can see the clip. Like he throws like a little fake up. I'm like, bro, he's not ready to change the game. He's trying to just like he's trying to be part of the game, not really trying to like end the game. So I was like, fuck it. I'm fading this bitch left wing. If they block me, it blocked me. It's like a fuck it shot. So I just fucking left wing on the team take, fucking greened it, and then I thought that was the game. Then, like I said, this motherfucker Bear comes up. He hits Twan with some shit I'd never seen before, green. I'm like, fuck, I gotta score again. Like he just got a 3 back. I'm like, fuck, I gotta score again. And I forgot. I think the next play we score with guns pump faking team take. I think Slaughter jumped past him with like 3 seconds left, and then he laid it in.
Yeah. Nah, Guns.
And then the next play, Guns
God.
got the block and threw the outlet to Sammy, and then he dunked it. And that was the game right there. So that game was sweaty though. Like I said, it was. People don't understand. I think the part of the stage that people understand is like the back and forth, like between players, more so than like anything is kind of like the thing. Not like the intimidation factor, but like the mental factor. So like an example of that is like the Pistons, right? Like Greenlight made a nice move and hit a mid range. All of us were clapping for him, like good shit, boy. Like get it again.
Yeah.
Like we want that over Radiant. Like. We want you to kick ass. Like
no,
that's
the
how
you're talking about. No, the shit you're talking about is like we did that to Duck, right? So like, and so we played the Knicks obviously in that first round, and they were obviously a team that wasn't great, but like we played them game 2. I had four fouls in the first quarter, and like so they're up chatting. They're like, "Oh, bro, you're folding, this and that." One of those. And I was like, "All right, whatever." Well, Duck finished with 20 at halftime. And I was like, and I get up, and Duck's like, he's up talking, whatever. And I told Duck, I said, dude, you just played the best half of your life. And I was like, and you're down 2. And I was like, so we'll see how the end of this goes. And we ended up beating them by 20. And like after the game, Duck was like, yeah, bro, that shit rattled me. He's like, I didn't know what to say. He's like, it's like one of those, right? It's like you tell them something, and it's like it sits with them, right? Or you clap for them, whatever. Like I remember Dini hit like a yellow on Beezus, a white yellow in the finals, and I just gave him a thumbs up, and Beezus didn't get up for the rest of the fucking game. And it was one of those. Like it's like little shit like that. Instead of like actually chatting, that's what I learned, right? Like obviously I used to be a big guy, get up. I still do, but like. I used to fall in love with just talking shit instead of actually like playing the mental game with somebody.
Yeah. That was our problem in game 1 against the Pistons. Is like all of us were too focused on like talking, like trying to win the talking shit battle.
You're getting lost in the sauce. You're getting lost in like being like, oh, I gotta say this. Like, bro, at the end of the day, bro, you don't need that right to win. So it's like I remember Jack was always big about like Jack would just turn around and look at the point guard and just talk to him. Like he wouldn't get up and talk or whatever. Justin would chat, like everybody else would chill. And like that's what I figured out. Yeah. Like if you could just play the little mental game with him, like you said, like you're chatting the Bear a little bit to get him like in kill mode, because then now Kai isn't as aggressive. Like Kai's to kind of be in a spot up. And like we both know Kai was probably the best player this past year in season 4. Like
Yeah, and the other thing with Kai is like, I mean, for some reason he's fucking shooting crazy percentages, but I feel like similar to me, like that's like one of his worst attributes is shooting. So trying to get him less shots versus
just getting him out of rhythm.
Like yeah, he's shooting 70% from 3 because he's gotten 2 corner threes on the break, and now his normal 3 is like Green Machine's revving like he's gonna green that bitch. So for us, every break we're fouling, we're not turning it over, no live ball turnovers, like stuff like that. We're doing every time. Like that was just the thought process. We felt like if we made the shit like a long, slow game, it's over. Like
no, that's what I peeped with y'all though. That's why we didn't want to see y'all. It's like y'all played playoff basketball, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people don't know what that means, but like for you, right? You kind of got back to your old ways in season 4, kind of controlling the game. You and Jack and like Bear were the only guys that I felt like could slow the game down and kind of win the game. A 55 to 56 game, or a 60 to 63 game, instead of like somebody like Chalk, right? Like even though he's a great player, it's one of those guys. He has to put up 80. You know what I'm saying? That's how he plays. He's just fast.
Yeah.
He's going,
well, the other thing too that I really liked about the stage for that game, like the game itself, obviously like wasn't the best for season 4, but I felt like on the stage it was actually a pretty good game.
It was a great game. They're not shooting that bullshit.
Because like because the online shit is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like even Sammy said that shit. He was like, one, I can't really like my motor can't really get up for the online game as much because it feels like we're just playing pro am.
Yeah.
But
really.
Also, it's just like fuck it. Like they don't. There's no consequence to that fucking shooting a fade.
Yeah, you're shooting a fucking fade from half court for fucking on the break, bro. And you do that shit on stage, and your teammate's looking at you like, "What the fuck did you just do?" It's a lot different when it's
it got back to real ball, like in person, like taking your twos on the break, fucking
shooting middies, and like you know what I'm saying, just playing like control. You played like a slower pace. That's why I was like, that's why we didn't want to see all those. Like one of those. It's like I knew that you could play at our pace, if that makes sense. Like I knew Bear could play at our pace. That like everybody else that we played though, like Splash, right? No, even though Splash is like a top 3 player in the world, he can't play midi basketball. He can't just sit there and shoot middies over and over again.
You can't take it. Well, the thing I always tell Sam is I call it the championship midi. That's what it is. You just got to sit there like how Tom Brady does in football and just take the 5-6 yards
Yeah,
every
he
time.
takes 6-7 every time, and then they're just gonna open up the big play. Boom, and that's what we were doing.
Now they're like worried about the mid. You hit the slip twice. Now you get a 3. Like that's how you gotta like start the first half just taking what the defense gives you, and then you start doing what you got to do.
But that's why we didn't want to see you though. Like that's for real. Like obviously we played y'all the year before. I knew y'all were gonna be back pissed off if we see y'all again. But I remember like bro, just like the fact of like how you played and like seeing how the game was being played, like there wasn't no like I wasn't scared of like the scores anymore on stage. If that makes sense.
Well, and the other thing too, I mean, for at least for you guys, is going into like we lost season 3 finals, so going into season 4, like we made our team literally just to play you guys. Like we got a center who's aggressive
and
can
plays
like
defense,
fuck
and
with the aggressive shit.
Yeah.
We got a shooting guard that can kind of do it all. Us is someone that just like does the little things, fucking doesn't miss a shot from the corner. There's no fucking swinging.
Baby Dini.
So like we were like fuck it, like we were literally like the whole off season we were just making a team to beat the Wizards was like our thought process the entire time. So going into that, we were like, fuck, like we really hope we get to play them again. Because I mean, we felt like we played y'all solid. Like I think you guys honestly had me way. You guys played me way better in season 4. Like I wasn't really playing well when we played y'all in scrimmages and stuff. And I felt like everyone else played pretty well. Like Twan, Oz, Guns, they all played well. Like I didn't play too well, but like I feel like I could possibly pick it up if we were to play. But I wasn't like the most confident in myself against you guys.
I feel like you hit your hand well though all year. Like I feel like you didn't really like get like in your bag until like towards the end of the season. Because like I felt like for you, right, like it's a mental.
But no, I was down bad this season at some point.
No, I just felt like I felt like I wouldn't even say you were down bad. I feel like that's just how you are as a person. Like where you're like, all right, all I have to do is play at this level and we can get to the playoffs and then I'll turn it up another notch. It's just kind of how you are. Jack's kind of like that too. He doesn't practice all the time. When we play somebody that's really good, like when we play the Jazz, he would deadass troll. Like not troll, but he wouldn't like do the same shit he would do in a real game because he's like, all right.
There's no point of scoring 45 in this
he doesn't want to show him what they got, like type shit. And like we ran that, that offense we ended up running in the playoffs was like, bro, we're wrapping every play. There's cuts every play. There's off balls, phase cuts. There's the shit that y'all would do ducks in and out of the corner. We took that from y'all, like the Kai cut where you go cut in and stop the block, cut right back in, shit like that. We did all that just for the playoffs because like Jack was like kind of didn't want to show it. So we lost some games in the regular season, kind of probably how y'all did too. Was like you didn't want to show everything, right?
Yeah,
especially towards the end of the
plays
season
that I
too.
still didn't even call. Like I have to wait for the right situation to call them. Like I called it against the Pistons. Actually, we were down like 2, and I mean we missed a shot off of it, which was like fuck. I kind of wasted the play. But yeah, I definitely like don't like. That's one thing for game 1s. Even like it sounds fucking crazy,
but it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
I kind of like don't care. I mean, you definitely want to win 2-0, but I don't really care as much if we were to lose game 1 off of like. All we did was run pick and roll, like.
Or all we did was run a couple raps, whatever. Like you didn't really run the offense.
Yeah, I didn't do shit. So, when we lost game 1 to the Pistons, like I said, I wasn't really worried. Like I thought we were good to come back because it was 3 people's first game on stage. Like all we were doing was talking a lot.
Yeah, Ethan played probably the craziest out of everybody though with the fades. Like he shot the knee house and shit. That, like...
Well, this is the other thing I'll give. It's kind of the same thing you're saying about me with Gradient. Like. That motherfucker knew every move Ethan was doing. Like, I think Ethan maybe averaged like 20 points on like high 40s shooting. Like, he was like, he's going right, he's going left. Like, he was fucking figuring out before it even happened. Like, I was like, holy shit.
So how you are with offense? How you like hide shit? Like, we didn't even run like 3 of our defenses for the finals because we didn't need them. But like, we like have so many different defenses, right? That like. We wouldn't even use because like we don't need to show it unless we have to. Like we had a special press just for the T-Wolves. So we had a special defense just for y'all because how you like to play. Because the thing with you would dot the opposite corner. You know what I'm saying? You would dot the like our stack side rotation, but like you would dot it at the perfect time, not too early, not too late. So like we had another rotation we were gonna run for you if we seen you, but like obviously we didn't have to do it. But like a lot of the guys though in the league that like were scorers, they didn't really know how to pass. That's why I didn't want to see a Bear, a you, or like really just y'all two, honestly, because y'all can fucking pass.
Well, the other thing people don't really get till you're in it for the finals at least is like that shit is like a fucking 3 to 4 hour with all the commercials and shit. Like it's like a long thing. So if you lose a game,
it's a mental battle too. It's like, bro, you gotta stay locked in, but not too locked. You can't exhaust yourself. Like it's a lot of bullshit.
And you gotta make sure like everybody's kind of on the same page forever. Like I think in season 3 we were on the same page. We just like I said, I kind of threw some leads, and then that game 3 we just fucking we lost, so it was just kind of tough after that. But yeah, the entire finals. I mean, even regular playoffs, like we lost game 1 to the Jazz in that conference finals, and like I don't know, I don't know, like the other 3 players on my team don't have really no stake in that like relationship with the Jazz. Like me and
Right.
Sammy obviously beat them the year before, but like I don't know if like fucking Guns or Us or Tom really think what I think in this moment. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's really like 5 people combined. So like we lost the first game to the Jazz by like 40. And I'm telling the Jazz, like, at least y'all won one game this year. Like, you didn't get swept. Like, good shit. Like, at least you won one. They beat us, like, fucking 70-30, bro. And I'm like, they could beat us 70-30 again. I don't know if my teammates believe the same thing I believe, but I think we're going to come back and win. So then we won the second game, and then the third game, like I said, it came down to the wire, full bar, hop step, all that good nonsense. It is what it is.
Nah, the full bar was crazy. You really dropped your nuts too. That was a
Well,
crazy
because
shot.
we were down. I think. Oh no, Lottie got it. It was we were down 5 or 6. I think it might have been 6. And Lottie takes a mid range with like 150 left, and it goes up. They go up 8 with like 150 left. And for some reason in my head, it clicks like, all right, they didn't get up 9. Like we're good. Like we're gonna come back. Like for some reason, like I don't know what the fuck be going on, but sometimes like I just get some shit where I'm like, all right, this is about to happen. And like that was the same thing where I hit the 3 on team take versus T
Yeah,
Wolves.
yeah, yeah.
When Lottie got the 2, I swear to God, I said they fucking left the door open. Like he got one of those where his feet dragged in front of the 3-point line. So I was like, all right, the door is fucking open. I come down, I hit 2 threes in a row, and fucking get my badge. So my green machine's revving, and I have fucking badge, and then I get a full the next play. Like that shit was crazy.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Guns though, the whole obviously Rhea did his thing against y'all, but like Guns, the whole playoffs probably he's arguably a top 3 player in the playoffs. Like
Yeah, I
Guns,
mean that
Guns
was
was in his bag, bro. Like
one
that
of the
kid is
things
crazy.
that really stuck out. Like for us with Guns, we thought he's the best player in the draft. I mean, obviously 630 won the fucking
Right. I mean,
MVP, so
it's
that's
point guard
different. But like
award.
I'm talking really 3 through 5. Like I felt like the whole overall package with him is as good as it can get from a rookie. Like mentality wise, stage presence,
Good
stick, like
vibes. Like
can play every position. Like I just felt like it was like it was just like a perfect like rookie kind of player. Like I honestly like felt like I wasn't even like crazy for the first season for us when we kind of were looking to put the team together. Like I wasn't like as crazy because obviously you want to win the championship, but it's like 3 people playing new positions.
right.
Like you have to like, and that's kind of like where the slow start happened. Like one, I wasn't very good at the game because for some reason I fucking took spring classes like a dumbass. Like I don't know what my problem was. I'm not doing that shit again this year. So that I'm kind of switching my time back and forth, and then also like we're new positions, guys are living on their own for the first time, all that stuff. Like it's
Right.
a fucking new team. So we started a little slow. Obviously, like guys don't know what to really expect either because it's like a completely different thing. Like you're playing two game series instead of 3 game series. It's new for me even. So like a split's really like fuck. Like that's tough. Like you don't really want to split.
No, that was
Um,
probably the worst thing they added though for the league was that bullshit.
yeah, that double. Yeah, that
Nah,
shit's
that shit was
terrible.
bad. But all right, keep going.
Especially me. I'm good to throw a game. Sadly, like I got to get that
That's
out of
what
my
Jack
system.
used to say.
Like
Jack was like, bro, in a game, because a 3 game series, I like our chances. Like we can adjust. Like you're kind of the same way. Like you adjust well on the fly. Like you see shit on the fly, whatever. That's how Jack was too. Where we were playing the 2 game shit, and like it was a fucking struggle sometimes because Jack will get in these modes, and you probably do the same thing where it's like, dude, you can't tell him anything. You can't call out
yeah,
anything. He's just gonna do what he wants, and like so. Yeah, I'm already knowing. But yeah, go ahead, keep going.
yeah, that shit was terrible. But so then we start the season kind of like slowish. And we lost to the fucking. We were supposed to get swept by the Lakers, but fucking Ohio shoots the shot off the fucking rim,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get the ball on the glitched inbound and score a layup, and we fucking split with the Lakers, and that's fucking their 3rd win out of 100. So I remember going to my fucking back to my room, and I call Rustin on the phone. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna shit you. Usually I know what the fuck's going on, but I'm fucked up right now, bad. Like I can't wait for this fucking bye week, dude. Like this is fucked. Like usually, like I have the answers to like a lot of the shit. Like not obviously not
The bye
everything,
week
but
was definitely needed this year.
like I'll know like yo like we could have done this better, we could have done this better, but like I was like bro, I might just be fucking ass now, Russ, and I don't know what's going on. Like I did have said that shit to him.
The
Like
game
I'm like
didn't fit you though because like you don't shoot the bullshit fades and shit. That's what Jack struggled with because you couldn't sit behind the screen and quick stop because you could jump at it. You know what I'm
yeah
saying? Like you could play it,
yeah for
but
sure.
like you had to shoot the fades and shit. You had to, bro. Like you
Yeah,
had this
so then that
advantage.
1 week break of like no 2K, like I feel like whenever you take a break like that, it's like you kind of come back and start from scratch, and that could be good sometimes if you develop bad habits. Like a bad habit for me was that stuff where like I didn't really know how to 3 hunt or anything. Um, like 300 on that game. Like obviously I knew how to quick stop and stuff, but like I didn't really know how to like shoot the fades or green the fades. Like I didn't even have normal fade on until like
No, you had
afterward.
a troll fade on. Like, what the fuck were you
Yeah.
doing? Like,
So I
you
have
were.
no idea. Like I didn't even check my trim moves. I'm just out there playing. Like right now I don't know what's on my player in prime. I'm just playing the game. But
Jesus Christ.
back to the point, like going when we lost to the Lakers, we fucking split with the Lakers, and I was like, fuck, like, damn, I might just be ass. Like it is like we're fucked now. So then we go on the bye week, then we come back and we start roping off wins and scrimmages. Finally, we ended up playing the Blazers. We 2-0'd the Blazers. Then we split with the Cavs, but it was one of those splits with the Cavs where Fab and Strainer combined for fucking 80 on 2 misses, like, and we
Right.
lost by 2. Like it's fucked. Like whatever. Like they just went crazy. Because again, the splits are crazy.
The
Just is what
split.
it is.
No, the splits are.
And then I forget who we beat. I think we 2-0'd somebody, and then we got 0-2'd by the Raptors. And you know that game I wanted to fucking win.
Oh yeah, obviously.
We were up like 5, and they got hella fucking plucks towards the end of the game and fucking won. So then that one stunned us for game
They
2.
2-0'd the Nets too. I remember that.
And
That was,
us, yeah, same week. Yeah, Dimes' entrance week. He won Player of the Week.
nah, dude, he went crazy.
And that's another story for another time. But come on, bro. That needs to, you know. But so then we lose that, and then we're going into the week after that versus the Kings, and it's 4 games against the fucking Kings. It's 4 in 2 days. It's Thursday, Friday, 4 games. That's the craziest scheduling I've ever seen in my life. Like
That's
it's like
bad. That's the league's bad for that. The league is
whichever
terrible
team
for
wins
that.
3, they're in. The other one's out. Like that's what that was, and they won the first game. So I'm like, fuck, like we're fucked right now. Like I'm not thinking that really, but I'm like, damn, like this is tough. So the Kings win the fucking first one. And then we go into the second one and we win kind of like a little blessed. Like we won by like 5, no cushion. Like, you know, when it's like a fucking 3 to 5 point game, there's obviously sometimes it just goes your way or doesn't. Like
Yeah.
it is just what it
You
is.
hit
Like
the
no one
white.
really,
You hit the white.
no one
bait on,
really
like-
won. Yeah, no one really like won. We kind of just like got the flip of the coin. So we're like, all right, like we split with them. Now tomorrow we need a 2-0. And then one thing like people don't understand from the outside looking in is it's all about preparation. So like we prepare like the first day against the Kings, we didn't prepare like it was a playoff game. But that day it's a Thursday, we play Friday too, the next 2 games. We prepared for that Friday like it was fucking the finals. Like we split with them at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. We're like, all right, yo, fucking take your 2-hour break or whatever, hour and a half break, like shower, shit. Obviously, call your family. Like we just like after you play on the fucking like Twitch, you obviously want to talk to your people
Yeah.
afterward. You know what I mean? It's like everyone do what they want. But yo, at 11 or it was either 11 or midnight, everyone back in the practice room. Like we're gonna fucking rewatch like every minute of the game and what happened. Like we're gonna fucking improve for tomorrow because if we win 2 tomorrow, we're in the playoffs. Like this shit is really like that. So. I think people don't understand like that is kind of like the gap. Like I don't know what the Kings did afterward. Like I can't say for them, but
Right.
I doubt they did that. You know what I mean? Like I doubt they said like,
They didn't
yo,
prepare.
let's meet up in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let's meet up in 2 hours and fucking figure out what was wrong. Because like a lot of people are like, why me in 2K versus like what fucking happened in the game.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, you sold me, he sold me, this happened.
Or the
Like
game
all right, I mean the
sucks, the game
motherfucker,
sucks,
the
yeah.
motherfucker sold you, but you gotta fix him. You gotta show him what he did wrong.
That's a
Like
fact.
this is the fucking the group we're rocking with. There's no like random dude coming
That's
out
a
of the
good
sky
point
to
you
come
made. They're talking
play.
about the preparations, the gap. It's definitely the gap, right? Like so, like last year, whenever we played the Kings, like we prepared just for the Kings for the playoffs, and then like we beat them. We had, last year how the playoffs worked was like you played that Friday, Saturday, and then you had a week off for the finals. So like
Yeah.
we played, that Friday, or it might have been the Thursday. I don't remember. It might have been Thursday, Friday. But we played the Kings or whatever, and then like after that, dude, you know when you have those series where it's just like, god damn, like whatever. Well, then we were like, all right, dude, tonight, me and Justin stayed up till like 6 a.m., bro, watching film on the Raptors, like 6 hours straight, because like we didn't play them until like 3 o'clock that next day, so we had like a little time to sleep, whatever. And like we had a whole like detailed game plan. Like obviously we had shit for the Raptors before, but like people change how they play. And the one thing we noticed, right, like going into the series against the Raptors when they were 16-0, blah blah whatever, was they didn't get better all year. They played the exact same. Like some teams like the Grizzlies, right? They never changed their way they played all year this past year, right?
They didn't adjust to the game.
Like Vandy played the same way from game 1 to game 28.
He put shit on film that's like at that point like teams know what's gonna happen.
So we noticed that they didn't get any better. They just thought that people were just kind of scared of them. So we're like, all right, dude, we're gonna and the big thing with us was like we noticed if you don't press the Raptors, like make him score, like Kenny score in the half court every time.
Yeah, you want the game to be like
Slower.
he's scoring in half court and you're getting leak outs versus like you having to bring the ball up on them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like
And
you want more possession to them.
because
Bringing it
Tomley
up
was
than
really
you.
good at the reset plug, shit like that. So like,
Yeah.
that's really the gap.
And
though,
pushing out of bounds,
about.
they were fucking gross
Oh,
at too.
dude,
They
they
were.
were.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even. Oh, Jack used to get so
Yeah.
mad, bro. But nah, like you said though, like when you prepare like the way you're supposed to for shit, like it's a lot easier to win, right? Like for y'all, it's hard to prepare for y'all when y'all played, the Pistons and you played, the T-Wolves, and then you get the Jazz. It's really hard to prepare for every game because y'all were in a shitty spot to start.
Yeah.
For us though, we were, we had the first round bye, so we were like, we're playing on fucking, the Knicks, and then we got the Nets next. So it's easy to play, easy to prepare for those when it's like we don't have the, the extra series, they get day before or whatever. But yeah, dude, that shit
we had
tough.
to play 3 days in a row.
No, shit's tough, dude. This shit's fucking hard.
Yeah, and it really, like, no bullshit. Obviously, like, losing the finals to y'all was fucking bad. Like, I felt bad afterward, but like this year when we lost, like, that was the worst ever because it felt like we were fucking clicking at the right time. Like, I felt bad for the kids on my team because like what we had envisioned was like actually like fucking happening, and like it wasn't like anybody did anything bad. Like I shot fucking I think like 23 of 55 from 3, which is bad obviously, but like that's like missing open shots and shit is not like the thing. Like the gameplay itself was like fuck, bro. Like these dudes really like did everything we fucking asked. Cause like when you're when you're drafting, I mean you drafted 3 people in season 2. When you're drafting people, you don't fucking know them until like they get there. Like they could sell you a fucking whole dream
right.
and be completely different than what they are. So like for that shit to come full circle, it was like that really felt like the fucking like this playoffs like felt like it felt like that shit was really the shit. Like no one was outplaying us. Like obviously we lost to the Jazz, it sucked, but like that one was like fuck, bro. Like that was really that like that, and that was because we, like I said, we just prepared really well the whole season. Like nobody. The other thing people don't understand that like fucks teams is people that don't understand, like obviously like I have my prom boys that I play with that's like fucking hot, like it's a range of people, like you know what I mean, like hot, Charger, like all the people I play prom with, right? Yeah. But like for those 6 months, your boys have to be your teammates. Like those have to be like your fucking number 1 priority boys. So like say like your shooting guard launches you or like your fucking center launches you. You can't be fucking talking to your other friends like, bro, this kid's fucking launching me. It's terrible. Like, it's fucked now. Now it's fucked.
No, that was the biggest problem. Like early in my time in the league was the problem. Where it's like too many people knew like our dirty laundry, if that makes sense. Like
yeah, no, for sure, bro. And it's
and
like
then, when we had our team now, kind of with y'all, like this, even season 3 and 4. Like when you have a team that nobody really like sneak disses anybody and like y'all just kick it, bro, like off the game.
Playing a video game, like there's so much to be worse. Like obviously you want to win, but like I mean I want to win for sure. But like say at worst you lose every fucking game. You have to realize like those are your teammates.
At the end of the day too, you're in a whole new city. You're in a whole new city too. You can represent an NBA organization.
Yeah.
Your life could be.
Who are you
worse.
to text some random dude you know off of Xbox that you fucking play prom with, like? Or like a group chat of dudes that you've never met before, be like, "Yo, bro, this kid's fucking selling me."
Yeah, this
like,
guy fucking sucks.
They don't give a fuck. What are they gonna do? All they're gonna do is tell other people that the kid's selling you. They're not gonna send you fucking compensation for the dude selling you. Like it doesn't do shit.
Nah, that's the big thing I probably learned honestly, like from the start to now is like all the extra shit. That's why I don't even get in group chats. Like, the only reason I was in a group chat this past year was for the 10 chat. But I would just go in there and instigate other teams, kind of fighting. That was like my thing, right?
Yeah.
I would just go in there and
that shit is fine. That shit's fine to troll them. But that's throwing another team.
But like
that's
the thing that's fucked though is like you talked about is like you have those like people that really worry about everybody else's opinion instead of like the opinion within your own like team,
Yeah.
And like that's the
100%.
hardest part people don't really understand is like if once you realize that nothing else really fucking matters, if like you could just kick it with your guys, like with our team, right? We would go, we'd get our shit popped, whatever, and then we're going out that night to go get fucked up, or like, or we're
people act like Twitter is a part of the league. You could delete fucking Twitter.
Oh, Jack did
like,
it all the time.
Delete it. You could delete the shit from your phone though, and you're still part of the 2K league getting employed. Like your day to day stays the same. Like.
That's one thing I noticed with y'all's team though. Y'all weren't really on Twitter. Obviously, I would tweet, like y'all won. Y'all were never like.
Yeah, or like watch my game. Fucking, we're on a win streak right now. Like appreciate this or retweet a video. Yeah, but.
But y'all weren't like on there.
You know how much? No bullshit though. You know how much people reached out every week, every fucking week, every day, hitting my line about how the fuck did you trade Smooth? How the fuck did you let go of Slaughter? Every second of the damn day, like. You know how easily, like, if someone was, like, an asshole, like, be like, yeah, bro, we fucked up trading. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I had the utmost confidence we didn't fuck up. Like, we could have been 10 and fucking 20, and I felt like we didn't fuck up. Like I felt like we got the right guys. So
And like even with those guys you had before, it's not like there was no bad blood between you and Slaughter. You and
yeah,
Smooth. It was
exactly.
like,
Yeah,
bro,
what the hell?
whatever. It's like Slaughter went to go play with his boys. Obviously, Smooth kind of got the shit in the stick. But like the thing with Smooth is they were still a game out of playoffs. Like his team was still competitive. You know, like you sent him to the fucking Milwaukee. You know, like Jeff sent my boy Cali. Like one of those. It's like you didn't send them to like so spot that they couldn't be competitive. That's the one thing I respect. And like y'all were on good terms. And like with you too,
Yeah.
you got to give up. You gave up a lot. Like basically Smooth is like elite. So like you got the third pick for him. So like honestly, that's pretty good for his value. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like third pick and you got guns out of it. And with Slaughter, it's like they end up being what? That would end up being chaos,
bro,
Swan.
Slaughter's fucking, like Slaughter handled that shit so fucking professionally. Like that's one thing I'll say about him. Like, bro, like he's still mad cool with all of us. Like all that stuff. Like he got traded to a team with like people he plays prom with, people that he's boys with. Like he's enjoying himself. Like that's like a real professional. You know what I mean? Like there's some people that get traded and they act like you killed them or you act like
No,
you indicted
Jeff,
them for
obviously,
murder or
obviously you
something,
did what
bro,
you had
like,
to, but you know, my boy went from being on a playoff team to the worst team in the league. It's a
I
hard
don't
pill to
mind what
swallow.
Jeff did though. Jeff's trying to
No,
get
yeah,
to a
you're
bucket.
trying to
They
win.
made
Yeah,
the
like,
ticket.
yeah.
They made the tip-off finals. Like if you felt like you were right there,
No, yeah, and especially with
I'd try to
A-Rooks,
do
right?
something.
A-Rooks had to have like the hardest probably turnaround as a player. Like I feel like he just stopped greening shots. Like he still gets open shots, whatever. But like I feel like with Aaron was like, bro, in season 3 and season 2, Aaron was like that guy. Like you had to
I
work.
just think not playing retail like catches up after a while too.
Yeah, no, especially this year because
like,
it was so
not playing
close.
the
It was so
beginning of
close.
retail,
It was
bro.
so close though. Like this year from
Yeah, and
the
it's gonna
retail.
continue to be close. Like,
Yeah, so like that's what
they
like you
want.
have to play retail now. You have to at least play a little bit. Like play the start of the game. You know, play the first 3 months. And
You
then
don't
get
even
out
need to, bro. You don't even need to play pro-am. You could play stage. You just gotta like the movement. Like
Get
that's
used
all
to
you
it.
need to do is just have the movement down. Like know how to move your player. Like. And especially the way that last season went with the no prep, like someone who got really good at the end of the season was Nadal. He was really good the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but that was because the season was 4 months and he didn't play retail. Versus like normally the season's 6 or 7 months,
And you
and
usually
you have
have
2 months to
yeah,
practice.
you have a month and a half basically to get
Yeah,
ready. And
no,
it's
we're
a
going into
lot
season
easier.
3. My season 3 stats would be so much crazier if the season started 6 days into the season. I was using the fucking meter for the first 2 weeks of practice in season 3. Maddie used to fucking freak out.
Bro, that's
He would
bad.
be like,
That's
he
bad.
would be like, I'm not coming to practice if you're using the meter today. And I just met him like 3 weeks ago. He's like, bro, I'm not coming to practice if you're using the fucking meter today.
That's bad. That's bad.
No, it
that's
was bad. It was bad.
No, that's what a
but-
lot of people don't understand too. Was like the guys that were like OGs, right? Like Feast. Like even though I think Feast had a decent season, like the guys that don't really play retail but are still great, you know, in the league because they're just good at 2K. They have good knowledge.
Even Smooth. I mean, Smooth plays fucking guard too. Like,
Yeah.
he's insane.
But that's my point. It's like if you can just play it enough to get the movement down, it puts like especially this past year, dude. You had 3 days before the tip off. They gave us the league bill that Thursday.
I was
and then
using
we,
jump shot 27, bro.
well, my point is
Fucking
like we got the league bill like that Thursday, right? And then we had the tip off Monday. It was like one of those. It was like, bro, it's such a quick turnaround. It's like that's what hurt the guys that don't really play the game. And then when they came in, it's like, you know, Nadal. I'm not saying Nadal was bad, but he didn't know how to do all the glitchy shit. He was still trying to figure out the game. Like even Brett, right? Brett figured it out. I ended up making all defensive team, but at the start of the
like
year,
mid-season, yeah, Brett got crazy.
but like the Blazers were terrible, bro, and like they had no defense in them. But I'm not saying it was Brett's fault, but like Brett knew that like if he got right, like they were gonna be decent. And sure enough, like when he got right, that motherfucker, but that Blazers team was hell. I don't think anybody wanted to see that team. Obviously, thank God the Jazz beat them because like they were on a heater like coming in. But no, that's a fact though. Like retail gets more and more like important probably every year. Compared to like season 1, season 2, season 3, like season 3 was a whole different build basically, but like 4 was like the closest it's ever been. It was it was patch 1.
Do you agree with me in season 4? The first half of the season that the East was probably better than the West, but then in the second half it wasn't even comparable. I felt like 8 of the top 10 teams were West. I felt like
you don't even have to say. I was not the top 10 teams. Like honestly, like,
I think you guys and then Hornets and Nets
I don't even want to say the Hornets for real because like the Hornets were super streaky, right? Like the Hornets would beat up. They had an easy schedule too. Like even though I still think the Hornets were good, I think like I'm taking the Kings over them. You know what I'm saying?
I would take the Kings over. I mean, I would probably throw a toss up between the Hornets, Kings, and Nets. Like that would
that's
be
a
the
tough one.
spot.
The Nets, the thing with the Nets though,
Blazers are better than than the rest of the East, I think for sure.
Yeah.
The Jazz, us, T-Wolves. I guess Pistons would be in that same group with the Nets.
Actually,
Kings,
I would take the Hornets over the Pistons, and I would take the Nets over the Pistons.
I would probably take the Nets over the Pistons too.
The Pistons, I don't know how they got in. Honestly, they were like really, really.
Well, because Ethan was just God.
Yeah, Yeah.
the game.
Yeah, he was really good. But my point is, they had no defense. That was the thing though with like the Hornets. They had defense, but like their offense would go, whatever. And like the Nets had no defense, but like Chalk would put up, 30 and 20. It was like one of those.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
Chalk did some crazy shit to the Hornets in game 1 of that series.
No, that was.
That was like that's damn near the best game ever. Like ever. Like what do you have, 30 and 30?
Well, they won by like 55. That was like on
He had
stage.
30 and 30 on like almost perfect shooting. Like that's fucking insane.
No, he's
Versus,
one
like
of those.
a good team.
That's
not like.
But he's
that's
one of
not
those.
like
He's one of those
fucking-
like the T-Wolves though. He's good at front running. He doesn't do no bullshit front running. Like he understands how.
He's
to
about
front
his
run.
business, yeah.
Yeah, like dude, he.
No, but I mean that's still like shit. Call what you want. That's like a fucking top 5 to 7 defensive team, and 30 and 30 is crazy to do on anybody. That's crazy to even get on the Nets themselves. Never mind the Hornets.
Especially on the fucking on stage. Like stage
Yeah,
is like
no,
a
that
different
was
beast.
crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's hard to shoot those same shots and shit. So like, I'm already knowing.
No, that was respect. He was really good at this game. Him and 630 Splash, they're all fucking insane at this game.
No, I just remember when we played Chalk. Like we had a perfect game plan for him. Like bro. Oh my god, bro. He never dotted the opposite like corner ever. Like so we were like, all right, bet. So like he dotted same side in the slip, bro. Dini was Zeus in that series, bro. Like literally just fucking dropped every play, never dotted. Like that was.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. I don't know if that those teams do like we said about the preparation. Like I don't know if those teams do that like at all. Like I think a lot of teams
really vibe off the
kinda,
game either. So that was a problem.
Well,
too.
I mean, I don't think you necessarily need to like super vibe off the game, but you need to be able to like go get lunch or dinner with.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
I'm not saying.
You don't need like
I'm not
all
saying,
party
like,
guys.
not,
Like you don't need
yeah.
everyone to go to the bar.
I know.
But,
No, you don't need to be BFS, but like if you can't sit down and watch film with your whole team, that's a problem. Or you can't like do like you said, go get lunch or dinner, breakfast, whatever. And it's like one of those. So like I don't know, bro. It's like I feel like that's the biggest gap though between y'all and like us and like even the Jazz.
Well, I mean the Jazz are more like a family. Like you see when they beat us, like obviously Compete was going through something, but all those dudes were like there like for him. You know what I mean? Like they're all like.
I mean,
Fine with them.
It was
that's
real
like
emotional.
really their
It was
team.
real emotional.
Like yeah,
real emotional.
like those like that team's been together for 2 years. Like that's fucking 2 years is like a chapter of your life together. So.
It really is.
And especially like the way that the last 2 seasons have been.
Appreciate you, Ray.
So like in season 2, like I wasn't even in my apartment for like 25 days. Like I went to fucking E3. I went to the Orlando tournament. Like I bet like I didn't see my teammates as much versus like these last 2 years. Like bro, everything's locked down. These are it.
COVID made us like have to be close because like you couldn't go out. So like you like had to just kick it with your boys. You want to see somebody like besides looking at your walls or looking at the game. So like
literally
that was tough, bro. That was the hardest part. Like I feel like the hardest season to win in was 3 because like COVID season was the hardest on the mental, bro. It had to be like you couldn't go.
Yeah, because all your friends and family are at home.
Yeah,
too,
we
like,
never got to go home, like bro, and like my parents were too far away to travel. Like it was just one of those like it was just tough, and like I remember, dude, I put on like 40 fucking pounds. It felt like, and like you develop these terrible habits. You're ordering DoorDash every day. You're fucking literally just terrible. The gym's closed.
That's crazy. It's like a fucking spin zone that time.
Nah, dude. Think about like looking back on it, like how we live. Like we had our PCs in our apartment, bro. We'd wake up, brush our teeth, walk in there, and play the fucking game all day. And it was like that is so crazy to think about now because it's like I could never like imagine doing that again. Like it was such.
Nah, me neither. We would fucking play hella scrim blocks. Our like facility was 2 doors down from my shit. I'd wake up fucking 10 minutes before practice, brush my teeth, and walk there.
Yeah, it's like one of those like you get up at 5 minutes before and you brush your teeth, go in, and it's like all right, like here we go again type thing. And then everything's in Discord, so like everybody's antics are a little bit more, like ours wasn't. We weren't all together, so like Jack's fucking chucking his fucking headset across the room, middle of the thing because I'm tweaking, whatever.
No, you know what's crazy with him, bro? This fucking kid had the camera in his room and he had like 1,000,000 water bottles. Remember that shit? One stream. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
If y'all would have seen his room during COVID, bro, he had White Claw boxes like everywhere. There was White Claw cans. He was like his White Claw kicked in, and it was like, dude, it was bad.
It was like 1,000,000 box, like fucking right over his shoulder, 1,000,000 water bottles. I was like, bro, the stream, they gotta tell him to fucking clean that shit.
Bro, he didn't give a fuck,
crazy.
bro. No, he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm telling you though, like that was like the hardest season though for me anyway. Like, dude, it was so like, bro, I picked up so
No,
many
definitely.
cigarettes,
I mean,
bro.
and if like, and after like a long day of scrimmages, you're like, bro, fuck this. Like, what am I doing? I don't
No,
feel
it's like
playing
you're really
this shit.
evaluating if you want to be in the league anymore. It's like,
Yeah, I don't want to play this shit. Like our only escape was literally like me, Slaughter, and Alex and Jim would just like fucking ride the city bikes around. Like that shit is. I mean, it's fun, I guess. But
we ride scooters, so yeah, I know.
There's nothing to really do. Like,
No,
fuck it. What am I gonna run up and down the block? That's all you can do. There's literally nothing to go on.
Couldn't
There's
go
no
inside
sports
anywhere
games.
to eat.
We were fucking 2 blocks away. I was so hyped. We got we got San Francisco for season 3. Like that shit was gonna be so much fun. Like we were 2 blocks away from the Giant Stadium. The Giant Stadium is like the nicest
Oh no, that
baseball
shit is
fucking
crazy.
stadium.
No, that shit is crazy.
Yeah, so we would always be over there like walking around, but I mean, fuck, you couldn't do anything. Like there's no games going on. If that was this year, that would have been so fucking fun because it's literally
Well, where
two
we all
doors
at now?
down.
We all not over there anymore? Or, like close to it?
Well, no, San Francisco like came out with a rule that you can't have under 12-month leases because they don't want people in and out with COVID. So
Uh,
we went across the bay back towards like Oakland, Emeryville, kind of. It's called Walnut Creek. It's nice. It's really nice though. Like it's just more like structured like old rich people kind of thing. It's not really
gotcha,
like San
gotcha.
Francisco.
No, I seen you go to a San Francisco game. That's what I was gonna ask you. That shit's crazy. Like their stadium's crazy. We went to a bunch of fucking Nationals game this year, so I'm already knowing like
Yeah, if we're
this
back
year
in that
was
area,
so
I'll
much
probably
better,
go to
bro.
Oakland more.
Bro,
Oakland is good.
nah, but like this year was so much better, bro.
Oh
Like
no, way better. Even though it's not like completely back, it was definitely like
better for the
you could
mental, bro.
actually do. Yeah, you could actually do stuff. Like you could actually like, all right, we just got flooded. Let me fucking go do this now. Like we don't got to sit
Yeah, we
here
would go to
and
Top Golf and
get
shit, or
punched.
we would,
Yeah.
do this, do that, go out, whatever. That shit definitely helps the mental, bro. Jacob just said
No,
game 5 tonight in San Francisco. All right, well.
no, I
yeah.
know, yo. I wish, bro. I wish that I fucking was there for this. Like for the playoffs. It sucks that we went home. Like that would have been so much fun to go to the Giants fucking
No, the Giants shit has to
Giants
be crazy.
Dodgers and fucking Giant Stadium.
It's for the
You seen
tickets.
Nadal in the bleachers for game 1.
Yeah, well, I bet the tickets are crazy for the
Yeah.
Dodger game. Like, oh man. But nah, we'll go ahead and open it up for anybody in the chat that's got questions. I feel like I've already talked to Charlie enough about his shit. So anything y'all want to ask him, ask me, ask whatever, bro, about the league. It doesn't really matter. We're just kind of chilling, bro, honestly. But nah, dude, like the thing about some of this shit that like from your start, bro, like I thought you were terrible coming into the league, and like for you to be like this guy now that's like, I mean, bro, y'all are Final Four every year. You know, y'all went Final Four even in season 2, so it's like, you know, I gotta respect it, bro. Like, just like from where you started, I thought you were terrible. I ain't gonna lie. Like 19, I remember y'all had Chalk on the slasher. Y'all used to run the pop, and like Mo was on the team. It was like it was a freak show, but it was fun to watch y'all. So I used to watch, but like it was one of those that like now it's like, dude, like when we play when we obviously we play each other, we had that little rivalry in 20. You know, a lot of teams couldn't do like the pro MC couldn't do what we did back then because like we used to actually not like each other. Like it was one of those like our whole team.
Yeah,
didn't
no,
like each other.
100%. Yeah,
That
everybody
no smoke
did
and
each other.
KMT shit was crazy.
Because yeah, DT would be involved in it too. Yeah.
It was one of those. And like, bro, I remember we used to chat, bro. Like we had a real.
Oh yeah,
rivalry.
yeah. Kai was on my team. Kai was on my
I
team
mean, y'all
back
had
then.
crazy,
Hot, yeah.
bro. Like y'all's team was
Yeah.
fucking nuts. Like we had Radiant, we had Reed, Wolf when he couldn't shoot. We ran double power forwards before it was a thing. But we had Ethan on the fucking lock.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that shit was like I don't get up anymore for pro am. Like I definitely play for the movement, but like, I mean, you could even like if anybody in the stream watches my stream, I mean, probably a couple do. Like, it's not nearly what it was. Like, bro, I would just be like huffing and puffing during pro am games back
Nah,
then.
back then
Like, I would
was
be
crazy.
like, fuck, bro, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. Like now, I'm just like, bro, fuck, there's no way we just lost. Like it is what it is.
All right, here's one for you, Charlie. Out of high school, do you think going straight to the league is better or getting your degree than going for it? You're kind of doing both, aren't you? You're doing.
Yeah. For that, I would try to do both, bro. Like, for me, I got kind of, I would say, not lucky, but like with COVID, I was able to
Appreciate you,
do a full
Chris.
year finally, so I'm not as far behind as I was. But for me with Fordham, like going out of high school, I went to, I mean, I don't know if Benzo knows because he's from New Jersey, but I went to this high school called Regis High School, which is like literally the #1 high school in like Northeast, like counting all those fucking states, like literally the #1 high school. All my friends literally go to like fucking Harvard and Princeton and shit, and I play video games. So
That's what Jack says too. Like he was like same shit.
yeah, no, he's from like an area like that too. Yeah. So for me, when I got into Fordham, I wasn't even like super going for the 2K League. It was just kind of like one of those things where it's like, fuck, like I kind of want to do it, and I wasn't really having too much fun at like my school. Like I had like fucking a B. Like I was always someone who got good ass grades. I had like a B average because I was like fucking drinking every day,
Yeah,
like
it was one of
going
those.
to class hungover, like playing, like doing terrible. So I got a 3.0 in my first semester, and fucking I got like a 3.0, and I was like, fuck, like I might be ass, like I might just be dumb now, like it is what it is. And then I was like, all right, I'm going for the 2K League. Had crazy stats in that fucking combine. I had like 30 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sat down at Christmas dinner, and like my uncle's like a smart ass dude, like like my whole family, like they do like they're like intelligent people, like do like real shit, like not video
Right.
games.
Right.
So I was like, fuck, yo, like I'm going for this, like I'm not going back to
It's a
Fortnite in
hard
3 weeks.
conversation to have. For
Yeah,
sure.
like I just know, but they didn't know I was even playing video games like that. Like they didn't even know I was like sweating like that. So I was like, yo, like I'm going for this, and I dropped this paper. It says you're in the interview process or whatever, like that fucking like first one past the combine. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going for this. Like it's NBA affiliate, the drafts at Barclays Center. Like I'm just trying to like
Make it sound
put the
professional as
NBA.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I'm making the NBA shit pop out. So then they're like, my mom at first was like, no, what are you talking
That's what
about?
my mom was like too.
And I was like, so like, can we make a deal? Like if I don't enjoy it, if we don't like it as a family after the first season, like I'll just go back to full-time school. Like you're allowed to take a semester off in my school. So
Right.
like fuck it, like I'm gonna take a semester off, and then so then we do that. So I get one semester done. You need to do 8 semesters, right? We'll put it into context. I get one semester done going to the 2K League. The next year, I get another semester done in the fall after the 2K League. Then around like Christmas time, New Year's Eve time, I was out at night and I broke my nose, right? And this kind of was lucky. Like this was damn near lucky as fuck. I broke my nose and I was able to get a medical exemption for the next spring. Like I was able to say like I can't go to school. Like I fucked my nose up. My
Hold on.
head is
So you
killing me.
got your ass rocked, or like what happened?
No, 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 no. Like I was fucked up and I hit some shit.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So, I broke my nose. So I'm like, yo, I got a medical exemption for the next semester. So I got 2 semesters done and 2 exemptions so far. Then the COVID year, you can do online classes. So I was able to do that during the season.
You got blessed then. Yeah.
So now I have 5 done. This one I'm in is my 6th. So I only need to do 2 more after this. So it kind of got blessed.
So what's
and
gonna
yeah.
happen for the spring though? Like.
The spring, I'm just gonna, bro. I gotta just try to figure it out. But I might go off a scholarship and then have to pay for my last 2. That's probably what will happen. But it is what it is. Like I got money to pay for it. I'll just do it. Just because getting the piece of paper from the Gabelli School of Business is just like super worth it if you're already 75%
Yeah, just
done.
get your foot in the door. That's where I'm at too. Like I'm like a semester and a half away from being done. Like I need like 21 hours, I think.
Yeah, all you gotta do is get that piece of paper. That's literally all that matters. And then boom, you're qualified. But yeah, I would definitely do both. Like if you can go to a school, for Benzo to answer your question, go to a school where you can do online classes while in the 2K League, and I wouldn't do a full spring semester. I would do like 2 classes during the season. Like you could do 2 easily.
Yeah, you could do 2, but like
5 is too much.
Yeah, because I did 5 my first year with the Mavs, and like, dude, I had to pay a guy to do all my class. Like it was like I was out of like I had to pay this guy damn near $1,500 to do all my shit because I had I was in junior level courses, so it's like one of those. It's like you know it's hard.
Yeah, it's time consuming. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, 100%. I would do full semester, fall, 2 classes for the spring, and then maybe another 1 or 2 in the summer, and then you're basically only a class behind while you're making a full fucking salary. So like, for me, when I was thinking about that shit, Benzo was like, if I do 4 years of college, I'm gonna be X amount in debt. But if I do 4 years of the 2K League, or say 5 or 6 years of the 2K League, and I graduate a little later, I'm gonna be positive a couple $100,000 and graduate, and I'll have this experience that like when I'm 50 or 60, I could tell my grandkids I did it. Like you know what I mean?
And
like,
you have the connections with the Warriors. Like you're probably really well off like with the Warriors and how you. Rustin and like all those guys. Mike Check's a good guy. Like you know what I'm saying. You have like those connections.
The experience is definitely worth it, bro. Than just being like a normal college student. Like I definitely would, especially for someone like Benzo who could like, actually is tough. Like he's not gonna come in the league and be like,
one and done.
A corner stretch.
Yeah, he's not a one and done type of dude. He's gonna be a guy that actually like he's gonna make a team good.
Yeah, like kind of like what Rigby did. He'll come in and do that. Like Rigby fucking changed the whole culture of a team. Like that's what Benzo will do.
All right, so Gino said, which lock gave you the most trouble?
Which lock gave me the most trouble?
Like,
and also I see your thing again, Benzo. If your parents need to like hit someone up, like I did the same thing for Ant. Like his mom needed to ask questions and shit. Like I can fucking tell them shit. But okay, yeah, the lock that gives me the most trouble, for some fucking reason, I'd probably say between, and I hate saying it because I think he's ass, but Saint be fucking me up just because the same reason he fucks up Jack is just because like there's like that little beef type of thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. He'd be fucking me up for some reasons, like for no reason, but it's what it is. And then another one is randoms, honestly. Randoms probably
Randoms
one,
Saint
two. Saint
yeah,
two, Randoms
really
one.
Good.
I think Randoms has the best on-ball defense like out of everybody, but he the problem with Keith probably is communication. I've never played with him, so I don't know. But it's probably communication and like calling rotations. But like pure on-ball defense, is him. The locks that try to like outthink me with rotations, like the people that are just like rotation locks and stuff, I feel like I have better success against because like you're not gonna outthink me. You're not gonna like fucking throw a rotation in that's really gonna outthink me if you're from lock. So those are probably the two. Keys and fucking.
All right, so this is famous. He said in season 2 when you were scoring 11-7, how tough was that on your mental, knowing you could do more for your team?
So in that season, like I said, I was super dependent on like rim running, and we just weren't rim running. Like I'll tell you for real, when I got drafted, like the talk was like when we get in the market, we're gonna run fucking pick and pop. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
make it
that's what you were
comfortable.
doing the whole retail, so I'm already knowing.
Yeah. So like once that wasn't the case, and the glitch was out, right? So Alex scoring 60 a game. Fuck it, like we're good. Then the patch comes out, and now we're fucked. Like we have no offense. And yeah, I mean it was definitely like tough for me because I had seen like especially what the toughest part was seeing Bear win with the pick and pop. Like that really for like a long time fucked
Bothered
me
you.
up.
Yeah, it
Like
bothered you a little bit. 'Cause you
yeah,
felt like you could do the same
because
shit.
I said like for weeks like that's what I want to do. And I'm the type of guy that does similar stuff to where like I'm calling a cut here, I'm calling a fake cut here, like the shit he was doing, like it's not just pick and pop with the center, it's like multiple layers of shit.
They're running 2-man. They basically invented 2-man
Yeah.
before that was a thing.
So like that when they won that was probably the toughest. When I was averaging 11 and 7 and I saw somebody doing what I felt like I can do at a high level, like that was fucking yeah. That was definitely tough on me for sure. And there was I mean, you could ask my teammates in season 2 like I would come home from practice some days and be like, "Bro, I'm not talking to any of y'all, bro. I'm good." Like I would just go to my room, like fuck it. Like Sam
You
would
were
even
still
say like
a kid though. Like it was one of those.
I mean, yeah, but it was like damn near. I still feel like it was merited the way I would act because, bro, some of the shit was just crazy and like practices and stuff. Like just overall,
Y'all would flop the whole game and shit like that.
bro. Yeah, we go down like 6, it's over. The game's over. Like, and I'm the type of guy that like is fighting to the last minute, like always. Like I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to fucking have bad habits and stuff like that. Like I'm super like into that type of stuff. So, yeah, we'd have like those long days of like just quitting and like playing bad.
So
And
y'all
I
were
would just,
bad
and
swim rounds.
I
Y'all
would
were
just
bad
go,
swim rounds.
I would just go into my like living room in my apartment and be like, Sammy would be going to type in Smooth's room, and I'd be like, nah, I'm good, I'm not going, I'm chilling, watch TV. Like I got it for like 2-3 weeks in a row. I was fuck that. But yeah, it was definitely tough on my mental.
All right, then this guy said, "What should a PG look for at the beginning of a game?"
Um, One, not to turn the ball over because you don't want to like get cold and like put your team in like a negative game script. So I usually like come out and I mean, one, you definitely want to like look for your three early, but you also like don't want to like force a bad shot. Like I don't know, it's kind of like hard to like say a particular thing to look for, but you want to just come off the screen and see what the like bottom. My thing is always like I'm never trying to kill the lock. I'm always trying to fuck with the dude guarding bottom pick and roll's head like more so than
That's why
the lock.
That's why I hate playing you more than anybody. Because like I feel like it's more of a mental game between me and you than it is anybody else. So like.
Because like, and the other thing like you got to play with is like some type of like pace. You don't want to just dribble for no reason. Like one thing I always like, this is really Coach Mike's thing is he would have me like hold the ball. Like say I hit Slaughter back in season 3 and he hits me back, I would just hold the ball and now let the lock work without me doing anything. Like the lock's like, fuck, where's he going? He runs right, he runs left, he runs right. You know what I mean? Like he's sitting there tweaking for like 2-3 seconds, and then you just go the opposite way, and now this fucking dude has to step up. Like it sounds fucking simple, but that's literally what it is. Literally what it is. And now like the lock fucking, I'm holding the ball, the lock goes right, I go left. Now that dude's got a step. I hit the slip once or twice. Now he's fucking tight. Now I get a 3, like stuff like that. You just want to start.
It's the whole mental
You want to
game.
start like you want to start fucking with the guy guarding bottom pick and roll and keep a tally of like what he's doing, like a mental tally.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what I would look for.
This guy says, "Do you have any advice for a newcomer in the comp community? How can we get our name out there?" I mean, you could kind of answer that one. You kind of came up a little differently than everybody else. You kind of came out of nowhere. I'll be honest with you.
Funny thing is, my first ever pro-am like big win was me, Sniper, Kevin Don't Miss from the Jazz, Skyza at my 4, and then LA Smash. LA Smash is a dog, by the way.
Yeah, I already know.
But that's my boy. So I think that was the game. Oh no, Shy Perception instead of Smash. That's what it was. It was Shy Perception. He was a god on stretch. I don't know if people remember that, dude. That dude was a fucking god on stretch. But so that was the team. And we were down. Yo, we won the first game of that series. It was against Mo. You know Mo. Fucking Mo's got Sleeties, Rhea.
Yeah, that team was really good.
The soup. So we win the first game because we were up like 5 or 6 and Rhea lagged out. And back then MPBA didn't give a fuck. Like they just you win if you're down and you lag out, you lost because people used to pull. So I mean, Reed didn't pull. He just got lagged out. And we took our win, bro. We're new. Like we just made the finals. Like fuck that. We're taking our win. We're playing fucking Reed as the first overall pick. Mo's the best point guard. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like fuck it. We take our win. The next two we get fucking punched. And back then you had to join. You had to join the party to search. Remember that shit? You had to like join and be like, yo, on 3. So I go in there. We're down 2-0, but we're really down. I mean, we're down 2-1, but we're really down 2-0. So I joined the party, and Mo's sitting there laughing with Sleeties, and they're talking about how they're gonna break up the money from MPBA. To me, like, look at that in perspective now. But that's another conversation. They're sitting there talking about how they're breaking up the fucking pot, and I'm sitting there fucking stunned. I swear, I was so fucking stunned. I'm like, fuck, bro, we're fucked. Then we won the next 3 in a row, and I started going crazy with that. And then yeah, that's kind of like how it took off. Like the end of that. End of 18, we won at MPBA, and then I started like winning other stuff as well with that group.
And you were a chat, but you was good at chatting too. Like you was good at shit talking back then. Like that's how you.
I would always wager. Damaris used to always take my money, but I always felt like the the value out of that shit was better than just losing the money. Like I always felt like if I put a stream up and I'm wagering Damaris $500, like bro, what's a couple hundred compared to like having 500 600 people watching me.
Yeah.
And like if I win, great. If I lose, like sure, like I'll take some shit, but now people are at least talking about me. Like that was my whole thing, bro. Like
smart.
So for like a newcomer, I would say like obviously it's hard to like wager like the super established teams, but like I felt like Seldom, at least for the first 2 or 3 weeks or like month of this game, was doing fantastic with that type of stuff. Like he wagered Ant 1. He beat somebody else. I remember he was wearing that fucking Power Ranger outfit. Like he was doing what you gotta do. You have to be 1, unique, and 2, like kind of like confident. I wouldn't say like over cocky because people don't like people that like gas themselves up. Like
but
say you say like
shit. Like talking your shit.
but like say you're the best and then you won't wager. That's the thing people don't like. Like one thing, like believe it or not, like Jack really went 1 because before that, like motherfuckers know he's down to play for anything. Like he's down to play for any amount
of money. You
so
knew that he was and that's the thing with Jack too was like you knew that like he was trying to initiate the wager. It wasn't like you, but he was like trying to play the money. Like he would put up all the money for his team too. He didn't give a fuck.
Exactly. So like that's kind of like his differentiating factor was like this dude is fucking crazy. Like he doesn't give a fuck.
And you kind of want that, and you want that on your team.
And, no, for sure, 100%. And that's like my thing where people will tweet out like I'm the best, versus like yo anyone trying to put up fucking money, like no one can fuck with me. Like that's like a different tone completely.
Nah,
so yeah, that would be my thing. Like you want to be unique and like play against good teams and like fucking stream and shit. Like bro, yeah. And Jack will wager like fucking quick match people that play the game all day, Kevin, and get smoked and just keep playing it. Like he doesn't give a fuck for some reason.
Nah, he's crazy. Like that's the thing though with Jack is like I remember like remember we played the USA trials, right? And we was on the like little practice squad or whatever.
Yeah, we beat his ass and then he was like, "Y'all trying to fucking play for money?" Remember that?
He was so mad at me. He was so mad or whatever. And like that's the thing with Jack though is like the reason why like you need that. Like you need somebody that's like he's like about like the money. And like that's the big thing, right? Like I feel like and like he's cool with playing with anybody too, like Kev said, like dude, he'd load up with fucking God knows who, bro. Somebody doesn't even have a badged out player and he would play for money.
Yeah,
but 100%. That's the big thing, bro. No, you're right though. That makes sense why you. I remember that, dude. I used to watch those wagers too. Damaris was so cold back then, bro. Oh my God.
Nah, bro. He had real estate on me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like that. He would always take my cash. Yeah, he would guard ball. Always take my cash. That shit was sad.
Nah, he was about his money though. He would do the same shit.
He fucked me for my team, bro. I was sweating my team before. Actually, it was a blessing in disguise because when I like right now too, like I'm playing my team, so I'm not like as great at pro-am as I was when I wasn't playing my team like the same amount. For some reason I can't do it splash. The splash is good at every game he touches. Like I have to like play a certain game.
Right.
So back then in 18, the motherfucker took all my cash in pro-am. Then 19, I had like a good ass my team. I felt good. I was beating people. Then I played Damaris. He beats me like 40 something. Like that was the year he won the 250.
Yeah, he was really good.
He beat me like fucking whatever, bro. And I was sitting there playing so much hours, like 10 to 12 hours a day while going to school and playing pro-am. Like, bro, I just was not in the best like shape. Physically, mentally, all that shit. I was like, fucked. I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'm selling my team. I sold, like, he beat me so bad, I just sold everything, bro. I'm not playing this shit no more.
Nah, you just lose a lot of weight. Because season 2, you was a little chunky, and then you came back for 3, and I was like, this motherfucker lost like a bunch of weight. I did the same shit. I'm still a little big, but like, yeah, dude, that shit matters. Like that physical, like just exercise, walking, like. People get lost. 100%. People get lost in the shit. Like they get lost in like playing the game and like wanting to be the best. Like that shit isn't as important as like having a good mental state. Like that makes sense.
No, for sure. I mean, even like bro, in season 3 with all that COVID stuff, I kind of did the opposite. With that, I was kind of just like super locked. Like we beat the Blazers in a tournament game, and like a lot of times after a big win, Rustin will like call me, and he like called me. I was literally like mid like rep. Like I was like in the middle of a workout. I'm like, yeah, I gotta call you back. He's like, fuck you. We just won 30 minutes ago. I'm like, nah, I'm like locked right now. Like I gotta call you back.
That's how it was this year for us in season 4. We were getting up at like 9 o'clock in the morning, go to the gym, or it was like 8:30. We get up at 8:30, it'd be like me, Jack, Justin, and Brandon. We go to the gym, and then we'd walk to practice, which is like a 1.5 mile walk, and like
Yeah, that's good shit.
that's what we would do over and over again, and like so like, yeah, I'm already knowing that shit's like that shit matters though. Like I feel like this year, like season 3 was bad because like we were like we were ordering McDonald's and shit, Chick-fil-A, like whatever, like after the game, and like this year I was like we made it a point not to like fall back into that like staying up till 5 a.m. playing Call of Duty and then getting up for.
It's just not worth it. Yeah,
it's just
really
not
worth
like
it.
it's one of those. But I think that's it though. Fool. I think we're good on this. Hold on, I'm gonna talk to the stream real quick and then I'll talk to you.
Right.
But hey, I appreciate everybody coming by the stream. Obviously, Keena's here. It's my guy, dude. He kills this shit every time he does it. Real smart guy. Obviously, Benzo. If you want to go for college, I definitely would. But yeah, fellas, I appreciate everybody coming by the stream. This will be up on YouTube probably by Thursday. But yeah, fellas, I appreciate everybody coming by, and y'all be easy.